Imagine living in a world where your classmate is the main character. Not sure about you guys, but I would have filed a complaint. To make things worse, the main character dies. Yeah. The plot didn't just break, it got deleted. A man stares at the TV in shock. On the screen, they announce the death of S-rank mage Lee Seojun. He was killed while on a mission fighting the evil dragon that appeared in downtown Seoul. Lee Seojun wasn't just strong, he was that guy. Debuted in 2034, solved everything, and was loved by everyone. But now the entire world was losing its mind over losing its beloved hero, that included our protagonist, Kim Seon-woo. He was still in disbelief, unable to understand if it was even possible for the main character to die at this point in the story. Lee Seojun, who they just said died on the news, is the genius mage and the young hero everyone in this era is watching. But what matters even more is that he is Seon-woo's old classmate and the main character of the novel that this world is based on, Modern Wizard. Seon-woo knows how this story is supposed to go. A happy ending, the hero wins, and everything wraps up nicely and well. And when that happens, he was hoping to go back to his original world, but fate had different plans. With the main character dead, Seon-woo faced the reality that he might be stuck here forever, still struggling to accept what had just happened. He thought he could see his friends again once the novel ended. One night, as Seon-woo hung out with his friends from the original world, they began to joke about getting isekai'd into novels. Everyone was excited, except Seon-woo. He thought that you should touch none of the chances or interfere with the plot, causing the main character to end up dying. Besides, he really did not want to put in much effort. That's what Kim Seon-woo believed. Later that night, Seon-woo received a surprise notification on his phone. He had won an event. He was contacted by the author of The Modern Wizard, who offered him an online travel ticket to a very special place. He showed it to his friends, and they were all ecstatic. He cheered as he pressed yes on his phone screen. What is the worst that can happen, right? Congratulations. He accepted terms and conditions without reading. Rookie mistake. And just like that, 7 years ago, Seon-woo got dragged into the novel he loved reading, but he cannot believe that the story has gotten this tangled, even though he has only been acting outside the main story. Suddenly, his television screen went black. He looks outside in horror. The world is ending. The sky was filled with weird purple fragments, and people froze mid-step. Suddenly, a window pops up, revealing that the main character has died and all main scenarios are now considered to have failed. Therefore, the world will be resetting now. Before he could process more stuff, he freezes in shock and crumbled down. Everything goes dark. Seon-woo regains consciousness as someone calls out to him. The bus driver refers to him as a student and shouts at him to wake him up. Bro went from world-ending apocalypse to public transport quickly. Budget cut is insane. Seon-woo remains confused, wondering if the world's end was just a dream. However, when he looks at the front, he sees himself in Korea Magic Academy, the school he graduated from. But according to its big banner, the year was 2032, which was 7 years ago. He examines his clothing and becomes surprised. Chills ran down his spine as he came to the realization that he had gone back in time. Having no choice but to accept it, he makes his way indoors. While everyone begins to gather for the assembly, Seon-woo wonders why Seojun died. According to the original, there was absolutely no reason for him to die. Krua's going berserk was exactly what was supposed to happen in the story, and after a brutal fight, Seojun was supposed to defeat it. He knows that because there has to be another reason behind the main character's death, but he becomes frustrated, not able to put a pin down. There is a possibility of Seojun dying again in this life and Seon-woo being sent to the past again. Nothing is certain, but one thing is clear. Lee Seojun must not die, and this time Seon-woo is going to make a move. He has come to comprehend that if he ever wants to get back to his original world, he will have to stop the main character's death and see this novel through to its ending. To do that, he decides to start getting close to the main characters, and so he starts with someone sitting right next to him. Her name was Yu Ara, a second-year student. Yu Ara looks at him like he just committed a crime. "Do I know you?" Energy so strong it could end friendships instantly. It soon became even more awkward as she told him to look somewhere else, because he was making her uncomfortable. Bro really said, "Let me build connections," and immediately built a restraining order. The assembly soon began, and each grade representative was told to come up to the stage. Among them was the second-year rank 1 student, Lee Seojun. Instant murmurs filled the room as he made his way to the stage. The main character's energy is so strong that it comes with background music. Seon-woo sighs, observing how the main character is already famous despite being a student. Modern Visit was basically a power fantasy novel where the main character does everything. The next student was announced, and everyone was in awe of her beauty. But Seon-woo knew her smile was calculated, and her real goal was to build connections. The next student was announced, and he knew that even in the original, He barely had any screen time. Therefore, he does not know much about the person. Seon-woo notices Yu Ara fuming in rage. As the top 2 students began to take their oath, he wonders if he should try scoring some points here. He murmurs to Yu Ara that she is better than those 2 up there. Upon questioning, he says that he can tell just by looking, saying he has good instincts, but this only pisses her off more. San-woo decides to try different toppings and questions if she has been worrying about her future lately. Yu Ara is taken aback, wondering how he knew that. Her eyes glowed red with anger as she swore to remember his name and warned him never to talk to her again. Seon-woo becomes dumbfounded, knowing he has screwed up from the start. The Magic Academy's new semester begins with an evaluation test on the first day, which determines everyone's ranking. It is an initiation ritual where you reveal yourself in front of the entire student body. Seon-woo's goal was clear. It was to rank in the top 10 in the second year. In his previous life, he got offers to be promoted to B rank several times, but he ended up staying at C rank. It would be embarrassing if he could not at least hit average against these kids, and so he decides to show them professional skills. And so, after the first-year students, it was time for the second-year students to come up. Seon-woo and the others watch Yu Ara performing well, but Seo-jun was enough to overshadow her, much to her annoyance. Everyone was impressed, as he was basically on par with the professional active mage. Seon-woo knows Yu Ara always had the first place taken by Seo-jun, so she must be frustrated this time as well. It was soon Seon-woo's turn. The instructors were confused, as the student did not have much of a presence, so he was not memorable. One of the instructors looks at the last year's records and reveals that this student has had talent in reinforcement magic. But he switched to manifestation magic. Though the other instructors seemed to find Seon-woo ordinary, one of the instructors, however, became interested in him. That is, after she sees him using the compression manifestation technique. The first stage of manifestation magic is materialization. Compressing the materialized mana allows you to finally control the next stage projection. That advanced technique is called the compression manifestation technique. It is a technique only veteran mages would use, so everyone was in shock. How can a second-year student use a technique like that? The room turns silent, probably anticipating the attack. However, they soon become disappointed as they see that he has collapsed from exhausting all this mana. Seon-woo knew he was screwed. Suddenly, a series of system windows began to pop up, making him even more panicked. The system window reveals a lot of information at once. One of the main scenarios has been forgotten. There were a lot of other windows with rewards and other notifications confusing him. But his humiliating situation on stage held 232 people's attention and made them remember his face, earning him points as a reward. Plus, Lee Seo-jun also seemed to be interested in him, according to the system interface. To use these points, the Outsider's benefits had to be unlocked. Outsider's benefits are special privileges that only Seon-woo, the possessor in this world, can use. Points are earned by stacking achievements through the system. You can also earn points as you become more well-known. The points shop is the best thing about Outsider's benefits. You can literally use points to buy traits, skills, or items, and it is a totally overpowered setting. Having all these points is great, but for Seon-woo, calling it the talent of the clown is kind of harsh. Back then, he always forgot he did not have enough mana yet, but he has never been this much in the spotlight in any life. Though he made points, he is not thrilled about the humiliating experience. He checks on his stats, only to be surprised to see all the points have been reset. He becomes furious, wondering how he will raise them again. But then he realizes he gets to reallocate his statistics in this life. In this system, there is enhancement, manifestation, support, and summoning. Those are the 4 branches of magic here. Enhancement is for boosting weapons or your body. Close combat magic. Basically, manifestation is where you cast actual spells. Summoning and support are for bringing things out or backing up others. Seon-woo chose manifestation as his main skill. He decides to max out his mana, therefore. He becomes happy to know that even silly moments get him a lot of points. Suddenly, a message window pops up, revealing that he received 2,000 points as a reward considering 400 people remember his face. He then proceeds to open the discussion chat group of the Magic Academy, which was buzzing with text messages. To his shock, someone had posted his test video online, and it was blowing up. It was embarrassing, but the points were nice, so he had to deal with it. He then begins to think of ideas to get even more points, pulling all the attention. And so the next day, he confidently stepped through the academy corridors while every gaze was upon him. And so, thanks to his texting, he got 5,000 points more. As soon as he enters the class, he gets approached by a man who makes fun of his test trial. Seon-woo recognizes him as Park In-won. In the novel, this guy was the resident loon in the beginning. He knows it is not right to get involved, so he decides to keep quiet. But it was hard when the guy was constantly rage-baiting him. Inwon asserts that he should come running whenever he calls, or it will be tough for him to survive here, but Sejun comes to his aid and tells the bully to stop. And so Inwon had no choice but to listen to the top student of the academy. Sejun then asks Seonwoo, if he is alright, consider the video that blew up. Seonwoo was obviously embarrassed, but Seojun told him not to worry about it, as the person who spread it on purpose is wrong. Seonwoo instantly grabs him by the shoulder before he could leave, and bashfully suggests they team up for this semester's dungeon class. Upon questioning, he tells the main character that it will be good for him as well. Sejun thinks about it for a while, and then apologetically declines, saying he never really thought of him as a teammate. But Seonwoo affirms that he will give him 2 reasons he should team up with him. First, he is dead last in the entire second year. Seojun literally chokes on air as he hears this and laughs. Seonwoo reveals that every group test has an adjustment score. If the top student in school teams up with the very last place like him, his score comes higher. Seojun knew that was true, but the risk was still big. Seonwoo's second reason was that Yu Ara already picked 2 low-ranked students for her team. He reminds Seojun that the girl specializes in wide area magic, and even with 2 low rankers, she will manage just fine. Surprisingly, he gives a third reason, saying that for someone in the last place he is pretty decent. Sejun bursts into laughter, calling him funny and agreeing to team up. However, he says he has a condition. That is, he will pick up the remaining teammates. Seonwoo agrees with his request. As a reward, he gets 2,000 points. Win. The scene shifts to a classroom. Seonwoo diligently listens to the instructor as she explains the origin of magic and the branches it was divided into. She says that now they have 4 branches, but back then there were 2. However, the solid 2-branch system collapsed, and she asked the class the reason for it. Seonwoo passionately raises his hand, surprising everyone. He confidently reveals that it was Bloodsword, the first enhancement-type mage to appear in the 18th century. The instructor further elaborates that for the manifestation-centric medieval mages of the time, Bloodsword's appearance was a huge shock. Manifestation mages back then could not even stand up to Bloodsword. From that turning point, research into manifestation magic exploded. Seonwoo is aware that even for someone like Seojun, classical magic theory and complex formulas are hard, but that is not the case with him. It is because outsiders' benefits feed him all the basic information, even doing the interpretation for him. Therefore, when it comes to written subjects, he is more confident than anyone here. He soon heard people gossiping about him, calling him Hermione Granger, but they couldn't understand what the point of his listening so hard in class is if he still came in last place. The class will soon end. Sejun approaches Seonwoo and suggests they eat together since they are a team now. Seonwoo soon spots someone waving towards Seojun. It was Young Jun. He is one of the main characters in this world and Seojun's best friend. Young Jun becomes excited as he spots Seonwoo and says that he saw that video. Seojun reveals how they got closer earlier because they will be teaming up for the dungeon class. The 3 continued chattering while Seoyuna noticed them. She becomes curious, wondering how the second-year student got close to senior Seojun. The scene shifts to the training room. Seonwoo decides to work on the amount of mana he can control. He began concentrating on manifesting, projecting, and controlling. He then unleashes some mana onto a dummy. The students who were observing him were quite taken aback, as he was doing better than they thought. Before regression, he used points to buy stats. In the moment, he bought a lot of them, but the more he bought, the more the cost ramped up. He knew it used the same logic as how level-ups get harder in games once you're at a high level. In the long run, instead of dumping points straight into statistics, it is better to use traits or items that boost mana growth and build stats over time. He then uses the search bar to find the trait that showed up mid-novel. It was called the Blessing of Great Nature, which absorbs mana from nature. Depending on the environment, one can gain up to 150% additional mana. Seonwoo also possessed a Returner's Wristwatch, which boosts health and mana regeneration by 200%. He also knew that one could sell traits to earn points as well, but it was a shame to let his precious trait of MasterChef go. Still, thanks to buying the Blessing of Great Nature and the Returner's Wristwatch, his starting point is way better than before the regression. He gets cut off from his thoughts as his phone begins to buzz. His surprise was evident, considering nobody ever contacted him. It was an invite to a group chat that had Jiyook, Jinte, and Hayoung. But aside from Hayoung, Seonwoo didn't know any of them. He knows Hayoung will become an important character later on, but she hasn't realized her own ability yet, so he knows she shouldn't matter much right now. Seojun soon texts the group, asking about everyone's specialty. Everyone types their specialty, and Seonwoo also reveals his to be manifestation with no element. Jihyun burst into laughter, saying that there is probably no one at this school who does not know he is a manifestation. It will be a lie to say that Seonwoo didn't care about that sarcastic remark. He thinks about how they will put Seojun at the center and the rest of them will support him. If they're aiming for first place, they must do better than Yuara's team. He then wonders who she picked for her team. The scene shifts to an academy instructor assessing and helping her students with their magic technique formation. Yuara stood out from the bunch of students, and the instructor could tell she was very skilled. Her focus then diverts towards Seonwoo, and she is surprised by his talent. She remembers how, back then, he got so hung up on materialization that he could not even manage a proper projection. But now, with the bare minimum of mana, he is pulling off perfect projection and control. She, of all people, knows that figuring out your own weak points at that age is no small feat. The specialty lesson soon ends, and she praises her students for their hard work. And so the students began to disperse, but the instructor called Seonwoo. She praises him for working hard in class and questions if he has been keeping up with his training lately. When she questions him about mana training, Seonwoo feels slightly awkward. He could tell that she had noticed his mana pool was lacking for his current level, and so he nods, saying he is working on it. The instructor says he is doing well overall, but his mana is low. She suggested he just keep at it, as there is no shortcut to building mana. Seeing his enthusiasm makes her smile, and she hands him an item that will help him with mana breathing and keeping his condition stable. He hesitates, for she tells him not to feel pressured as it doesn't even cost much to make. Promising to make good use of it, he leaves. However, he soon sees Yuara waiting for him. Seonwoo frowns, and Jacqueline questions whether it is fine for her to talk to him now. Yuara ignores his remarks and finds out that he is in the same group as Seojun this time. She accuses him of trying to cling to the top student. She even asserts that first place is hers and leaves, making Seonwoo sigh in annoyance. Seojun's group assembles for a team meeting on Thursday morning. Jihyun takes a jab at Seonwoo, commenting that it is weird to see the top student and the very last place student together. He mockingly asks Seonwoo if he can actually pull his weight, considering he couldn't even fire a single spell during the last test. Another student leaves in, suggesting that it doesn't matter as Seojun will carry him. Seonwoo wasn't liking the situation so far. One teammate was rude while the other planned to ride on the main character's coattails. Then there was Yoon Hayoung. Her big moment in this story is still a long way off. Seonwoo couldn't help but feel the team lineup was completely different from last time, and so he wonders if this group will really be okay for the test. The instructor gathers everyone's attention and explains today's dungeon exploration. He explains that this class will run twice in the morning and afternoon. Since it's their first day, they will only explore the basement level 1. Next, he begins to explain their dungeon exploration scores and how they're calculated. First is their dungeon clear speed. The faster you clear it, the more bonus points you get. Next comes the rank difference adjustment score. The more low-ranked teammates you have compared to your rank, the more points you personally earn. Then finally, there is a contribution. The instructor discloses that the artificial dungeon uses a special contribution system. You get extra points based on how much you contribute to your team. Above all, each student must prioritize safety. With that, each team entered the dungeon. The teacher then reached the teacher's room where others were gathered to see the kids in the dungeons. They joke around, wondering if they should place their bets on which team will get the highest score. However, they became disappointed when they found out that everyone was betting on Group 7 Yuara's team. However, one of the instructors reveals that she's putting her money on Group 3 Lee Seojun's team. However, the others argue that Team 3 was weak, not enough backup, limited range, enhancement types can't carry groups. They were already preparing excuses for Seojun before the fight even started. The woman agrees, saying that enhancement specialists are built for one-on-one. So without backup, handling a group of enemies becomes difficult. Basically, they're saying, he's strong, just not strong enough. The man says that Yuaro's specialty is wide area magic, and she has already reached the middle of the first floor. However, the woman was confident, saying that she still believes in a bottom ranker uprising and was eager to see who actually wins the bet. On the other hand, Seojun effortlessly defeats the enemies that come his way with his team as backup. His teammates are in awe, hyping him up like he's carrying a whole esports team, and they wonder who the first floor boss would be. Seonwoo guesses that a giant wolf will show up. Jihyun frowns and asks how he knows. Seonwoo obviously can't say he's already lived this, so he brushes it off, saying he has his ways. Worst answer possible. Jihyun starts pressing him, calling him a liar, clearly enjoying the chance to talk. Bro's entire personality is, let me argue for no reason. Seojun eventually intervenes, suggesting they keep moving. However, he suddenly takes a break, saying that there is something on the floor. It was clearly a magic circle, but they had no idea what kind it was. The other teammates were also taken aback and doubted that they would throw something truly dangerous at students. And just like that, the mood shifts. Seonwoo, however, leans down and begins to assess. After a while, he says it is nothing major and just a simple barrier. How does he know, you ask? Because he saw this exact same barrier trigger in his previous life. Using his mana, Seonwoo reveals the barrier's true form. Seojun contemplates trying to cut it with his sword. Determined, he swings his sword with utter determination and wields it towards the barrier. But just when his teammates thought he did it, they were disappointed to see that it did not work. Ji-hyun arrogantly steps forward, saying that it might be his time to shine. He asks for some time and leans towards the magic circle, putting his hand on it. However, his self-esteem goes down the drain as he says that this is complicated, so it will take time. Confidence level 100. Skill level questionable. Seonwoo grabs his hand and volunteers to break the magic circle. He slightly pushes the man aside and places both his hands on the magic circle and begins to concentrate. His outsider's benefit trait activates and begins to decode the magical formula. Now, Seonwoo could easily see through the complexities of the formula and make sense of it. To his teammates' shock, the barrier instantly disappears. A window pops up, revealing that Seojun is astonished by him, and his interest in him has increased. As the barrier vanishes, Group 3 sees a figure approaching from above the stairs. Its form was dark, and it brought along with it an intense dark aura. It was none other than the first floor, a giant wolf. Everyone was surprised to see that Seonwoo was right all along. Sejun stood alert as the gigantic wolf roared its way towards the team. He swings his sword, golden mana flashing through the air, and the wolf gets sliced apart in a single strike. Not even a fight, more like a public execution. Seeing the wolf spliced up, the teammates were in awe of their leader. They made their way to the other side of the door, glad that it was all over. An instructor stood outside and congratulated them, revealing that they are in second place for week 1. The instructor then reveals that Group 7 came in first place, clearing the mission 30 minutes faster than them. Group 3 was impressed and commented on how Yu-Ara is a monster. Plus, they were only 2 minutes ahead of third place, and wondered if they were going to get overtaken at this rate. Amid the chaos and complaints, Seojun smiles at Seonwoo and thanks him for helping them get to second position. Seojun blames himself for dropping the ball, saying they should have secured first for sure. The rest, however, convince him that it is fine and they should not be so hard on themselves, considering it is just week 1 on the first floor. Soon, a support-type instructor approaches Seonwoo, saying that she came to make a proposal to him. Her demeanor instantly shifts to that of a fangirl as she requests him to transfer to support. Seonwoo remains surprised but refuses to do so. The instructor was dumbfounded, unable to believe that he was rejecting her without even hearing the terms. She proposes that with her authority, she can offer him a special talent scholarship of 50 million won. But she becomes dejected again as he refuses. His other teammates were shocked to see that he turned such a good proposal down. They tried to convince him to transfer as he sucks at manifestation anyway. Yu-Ara soon approaches him and asks if he will not transfer. She mentions that special talent status comes with way more rewards than just a scholarship. Seonwoo acknowledges her but says he is a manifestation type through and through. This only leaves her even more confused. Later, young Jun notices Seonwoo cleaning the corridor. She approaches him but greets him with the wrong name. Shethan praises him a bit for helping with the cleaning and then turns to leave. What a facade. In reality, Seonwoo was doing this to achieve the fairy housekeeper trade and gain points as a reward. Unknown to him, someone was watching him closely. The scene shifts to a classroom where the instructor explains the many types of monsters. There are many, but the most dangerous of them all are mains. Upon the instructor's question, Seonwoo answers that they are the most dangerous because they're impossible to tell apart from humans. That is, except when they willingly drop their disguise or are on the verge of going berserk. The instructor was happy with his response and elaborated further that they feed on human blood and control monsters, being the root of all evil and being deeply infiltrated into their society. Since there is no physical difference, civilians cannot identify mains without equipment. However, in the situations the instructor mentioned earlier, the main's eyes turned black. Seonwoo suddenly realizes that this weekend is when the episode with the first main appearance happens. It was the story where Seojun, despite being a student, defeats a main and gets attention once again. Seonwoo is certain Seojun will handle it fine on his own, but just in case, he decides to check for any danger around him. There was another problem as well. If he wants to go out with the main character of this world, he will need money too. Whenever he had a spare moment, Seonwoo diligently trained in increasing his mana proficiency. And so, with time, he has built quite a bit of it. Due to his consistent practice, his Great Nature's Blessing trait upgraded to rank 2. And so now he could use the Great Nature's Heart. He was ecstatic. Now he can use it freely whenever he needs it and recovers his mana massively. He recalls the incident with the instructor who requested him to transfer to support. He knows that breaking barrier is just him riding the outsider's benefits, and he cannot create them. Therefore, support is out of his league, but that scholarship money really stinks. He begins to ponder some easy ways to make quick cash. Going into dungeons, hunting monsters, and selling dropped items is too dangerous. Otherwise, there is the option of climbing the tower. He could handle the lower difficulty towers, but he is still a student and a minor, so he cannot get the license as well. It then finally clicks for him. Meanwhile, among the instructors, Seonwoo's reputation was also blowing up crazily. His teachers admired him for being punctual and focusing well during classes. The manifestation instructors were also happy to see a student so diligent and upstanding these days. Meanwhile, Seonwoo was considering the possibility of him not being a student. But his intention diverts as he achieves the student-beloved teacher's title, gaining 2,000 points as a reward. That came out of nowhere, but he was happy nonetheless. Back to the real deal, he enters the points shop and activates the search function. He then spends 10,000 points, certain he's going to get his money's worth and make some cash. The scene shifts to a later stage where Seonwoo is seen showing a fake mage license. Seonwoo almost loses his wits when the guard begins checking his ID's authenticity on his scanner, but he sighs in relief when it is proven valid. This is the new identity he bought from the points shop a few days ago. For investing 10,000 points, he could freely set the details of his new identity, and a mage license was issued. Mage licenses in this world are special. They contain a unique magic formula, so they can never be forged. Plus, Seonwoo has got color-changing glasses on, so his disguise is flawless. He makes his way in. He mentally prepares himself to clear the tower and go straight to the Han River. That is where Seojin's fight with the main starts at 9:30. As soon as he makes his way in, he is welcomed by a voice in the Tower of Proof. According to the voice, he is currently allowed up to the 27th floor, and the system asks which floor he would like to go to. When Seonwoo says 10th floor, the voice reveals that it has already been cleared. Even if he clears it again, the reward quality will be lowered. Seonwoo decides to proceed nonetheless because he has a different goal anyway. Portals are convenient transport devices found in every tower. There are several types of towers in this world. The monster's strength and the difficulty of the traps all differ from tower to tower. In the side story of the original, the Tower of Proof is a place most guilds avoid because of its unusual difficulty. As soon as he makes his way to the 10th floor, he is surrounded by a monster. The wolf's eyes glowed red with murderous intent as it lunged towards Seonwoo, but he reacts back with his power, effortlessly achieving his first hunt achievement. He knows it as a fact that the monsters that appear are on the weaker side, but the floor is packed with traps and high-difficulty magic formulas. He grins, confident that this is practically a tailor-made tower for him. He checks his watch and becomes at ease, knowing he has plenty of time to clear it. Meanwhile, near the Han River, many people had gathered. That included Seojin and his friend. As Seonwoo gets rid of another monster, it unlocks the magic crystal. He was glad, as it would cover the ride's money. He soon makes his way towards a familiar wall, uses his outsider's benefit to break the barrier. With that, he manages to enter the hidden floor of the Tower of Proof, called the Inner World. The voice reveals that the Tower of Proof focuses on him as a mystical mana fills the air. With that, he achieves the Mystery Explorer achievement, gaining 5,000 points. Seonwoo was glad to have reached his destination, but he was taken aback as the statue called out to him. The statue questions if he can prove himself as the challenger of the Tower of Proof. Without moving or blinking her eyes, she unleashes a gust of wind. Soon enough, Seonwoo was surrounded by flower fairies. He knows there are only C-rank monsters, so they're not that strong. However, they are crazy monsters that lose it the moment they see a human. However, he knows that when it comes to taking them down, speed is everything. And so, he efficiently uses his mana on flower fairies, keeping them away from him. He then begins to focus on the magic circle drawn on the ground, and uses his outsider's benefits to understand the formula. He knows that even if he defeats every flower fairy, he cannot clear this floor. His individuality is not something he can prove that way. He gets to work and begins to decode the magical formula. Meanwhile, the statue's voices call out to him, again suggesting he prove himself. Seonwoo smirks and accepts the challenge. His individuality is the same as decoding this formula. It is every ability he has gained as an outsider to this world. Suddenly, the message window pops up as he begins to illuminate the barrier, revealing that he has achieved the recognized by the Tower of Proof achievement. With that, he gained 10,000 points as a reward. Cherry on top, the Tower of Proof bestows its blessings upon him, and he gains adaptive trait proof of the tower. Moreover, He unlocks many unique items, and his mana recovery speed also increases, making him ecstatic. Seon-woo has successfully cleared the hidden floor of the Tower of Proof. Outside, near the Han River, fireworks were starting. Meanwhile, Seo-jun shows his friend the picture they took earlier, and he tells him to look closely. To my shock, it was an old man whose eyes were black. It is without doubt a main. As for Seon-woo, he waits for Seo-jun to show up, but he was nowhere in sight, and it was almost 9:30. Instead, what he sees is a weird-looking man who was radiating a dark and dangerous aura, roaming freely. Seon-woo was getting uneasy with every passing moment. He couldn't believe he had to step in himself. But this isn't just any event, and it is part of the main story. If he moves carelessly and messes up the plot, it will be troublesome. He soon spots a man approaching the main creature. Seon-woo instantly grows alert, knowing the man is in danger. But before he could do anything, the main picks up the man and pierces through his chest without wasting a single moment. He throws the agonized man away, who was bleeding severely. As for the main, his dark aura intensifies to the extent that his clothes rip apart, revealing its true form. Unfortunately, a girl stood nearby. The man takes note of her instantly. The others watched in utter terror, instantly recognizing it as a main. Seon-woo knew he could not hesitate. Story or not, people's lives come first. As for Seo-jun and his friend, they report the suspicious picture to an agent of the Anti-Terror Special Task Force, Mage Association Jung Hyun-soo. The agent confirms without doubt that the man is in fact a man. He interrogates these two students and says it will be troublesome because the place is crowded due to the festival. To make things worse, the more blood the mains absorb, the stronger they get. But their conversation gets interjected as they all sense an enormous surge of magic power. They all began to follow the trail. Meanwhile, Seon-woo discreetly walks behind the main with a weapon in his hand. The man raised his fist to bring the girl down, but luckily for her, the nearby furniture barely saves her. The girl makes a run for it with the main closely chasing after her. Seon-woo watches the scene on board and makes a keen observation that the creature is at least B rank. He knows he will be dead meat if he rushes in way too quickly. So he must pour all his mana in and hit the weak point. But it seems he fails to do. As soon as his attack hits the main, it quickly turns back and takes note of him. Seon-woo couldn't destroy its brain. As a result, the main goes even more berserk and begins to chase after him with full force. The main was faster than him, and so he had no choice but to finally activate Great Nature Heart's effect. Using that, his mana recovery speed increases by 1000% for 1 minute. Seon-woo might not be able to finish the monster in a minute, but he can at least half-kill him, and so he launches his attacks simultaneously towards the creature, injuring him a great deal. Though it tries to block his attacks, Seon-woo is also going steadily, but unfortunately the minute was up. Before the main could rip Seon-woo to pieces, a savior arises, displaced from the main limb to limb until he was eliminated. It was the agent from before, Jung Hyun-soo, the instrument. He instantly alerts his other members that the situation has been resolved. He then introduces himself to Seon-woo and thanks him. He then requests to see his manager's license for a moment, saying they need to verify his identity to issue a reward. Hyun-soo was shocked to see that he was a C rank, as he had expected him to be at least a B rank. Seon-woo's eyes then fall upon Youngjun and Sejun standing at a distance. He couldn't believe they were only showing up now when they should have gotten here sooner. As for Seo-jun, he couldn't help but get a familiar feeling that he had seen the man before. He approaches him and then questions if he knows someone named Seon-woo by any chance. Seo-jun adds that he is a student at the Magic Academy. Youngjun also sees the resemblance and questions about his relationship with the student. Seon-woo instantly averts his eyes, saying that is the name he has never heard. The agent says it might be just because he looks sort of ordinary. Seo-jun is still suspicious. The agent and Seon-woo exchange pleasantries and he leaves. Later, a message window pops up revealing that he participated in defeating a B-rank villain, earning him a reward. The system admits that there is a small shift in the plot, and so his casualty rate has increased by 0.2. Seon-woo remains in disbelief. The casualty rate is earned by resolving major events in the main storyline. The more the story changes, the more causality you can gain. Suddenly something clicks in his brain. If Seo-jun died in his unaltered first life playthrough, then it means he could have intervened and saved him by getting involved. His eyes catch the causality level at which he could achieve anything he wishes. This makes him even more hopeful of returning to his real world, back to his friends. He smiles, knowing there is no point in hesitating. If he wants to protect Seo-jun and also gain casualties, he needs to intervene. It seems the agent was very professional, as he gained a handsome sum for defeating the main. After everything that happened today, he decides to treat himself himself with this money. And so he makes his way to a 5-star mage-exclusive hotel. This hotel was owned by the Hansung Group, which is a global corporation all about power, influence, and money, even playing a major role in the original. As soon as he makes his way, he squirts the corporations. Vice President Sejin. It is no doubt that he is the #1 pick to inherit the company. He hears the vice president talking about his sister. As soon as he hears her name, Seyeon, the scene shifts to Seon-woo contemplating selling the spear as it draws too much attention, but he decides to save the magic book for later. As for the herbs, he will take them to Seyuan, but to do this, he has to wait for tomorrow. The next morning, news channels were all talking about a mysterious figure drawing attention for clearing the hidden floor of the tower. Plus, this figure has also defeated a berserk man in River Park right after. The man was identified as Kim Jinwoo. The news further revealed that the Mage Association praises his feats and announced they're considering raising his rank. That was all anyone could talk about now. Thanks to that, Seon-woo achieved the Little Hero achievement, and 2 million citizens began to appreciate his courage, earning him many reward points. Now that he had got enough credit for his identity, now it was time to go meet Seon-woo. Seon-woo makes his way to Hansung Pharmaceuticals. People were able to recognize him instantly, making him realize fame does have its perks indeed. He soon spots the corporation's family's sword, the S-rank mage, Sugi. Seon-woo makes his way towards the receptionist and reveals he would like to sell some herbs he brought from the tower and would prefer if Director Nim did the appraisal. He soon gets to meet Hansung Group's youngest daughter, Seyeon. She cheerfully talks about how odd it is being visited by someone so talked about. Plus, the stuff he brought is just as intriguing. She admits that these herbs are tricky but undeniably valuable and questions how he figured out their properties. Seon-woo smiles and reveals that he has spent years studying medicine himself. The sacred herb is a special resource. It amplifies the effects of other ingredients but does nothing alone, and at this point in the timeline, it is rare and hard to process. But he is confident that only a genius apothecary should handle something like this. Someone like Seyeon. She asks if he has any terms of his own for the deal. Seon-woo gestures that he wants 500 million up front and a small portion of shares in the pharmaceutical corporation. Seyeon remains taken aback to hear that he wants such a little portion, but Seon-woo asserts that stock is what matters. If sacred herbs get commercialized, Hansung will own pharma. Seyeon refused his offer and suggested giving her another condition, but Seon-woo had expected this to happen. He then suggests having a VIP underground auction membership, saying he wants her to make potions and deliver items when he needs them. He offers to pay for the service indeed. Seyeon scoffs, questioning if he wants her to run errands, but he says in exchange he will tell her older brother, who is the vice chairman of the corporation, about his weak spot. He points out how she wants to take over the group, and she would even mess with her own family for that. Seyeon stood up in shock, unable to believe that he saw through her. Somewhere else, a man was going crazy, regretting not stopping the man's death. Another man stops him, reminding him that it is an order from someone. If they help a man running wild among humans, they only put themselves in danger. Baek Kang was frustrated, wondering how long they had to keep hiding like this. His eyes glowed with revenge as he was to kill the Kim Jin-woo guy. The man asks if it would be okay, considering the mage seemed to be near his client. Kang says it will be fine, reminding how his client would cut off even his own family with a smile. At the same time, Seyeon meets with her brother Sejin. Things are about to get even messier. They get to talking, and Seyeon reveals to her brother how exhausting work is. Sejin comments that their father was a little hasty in handing over company shares when she was still young. He suggests to her that she can always pass it on to him if it is too much. He promises to make her the wise president once he becomes chairman. Seyeon tries hard to control her anger. Meanwhile, Seon-woo saves Seyeon's number in his phone. He was glad to have called her, who sold the spear to him too. Thanks to her, he came back with his mind at ease. He's certain she should have solid intel too. Previously, he had told her some valuable information about her older brother. He wonders if she is checking if that weakness he mentioned is useful information. He soon gets a notification from her. Talk about the devil this year. She agrees to be his errand runner for 1 month. The system reveals that her character now trusts him. She promises to send the upfront payment and spare money within 2 days, and asks if he needs something else. Seon-woo texts that he would like her to make some portions and that he needs an admission ticket to the underground arena. With that, the deal was solidified. But Seon-woo knows moving as Kim Jin-woo means he will attract the mains. There was a revenge plot in the original as well. He quickly activates the search function and searches for deduction traits. The intensely killing scenes intrigue him, but he becomes stunned to see its price. But he knows it is obligatory for him to buy it, and so, calling it the price of staying alive, he ends up buying it. A few days passed by. Seyeon delivers to him the potions he had requested, revealing she made them with a sacred herb mixed in. The mana elixir could increase mana recovery speed by an enormous percentage for 5 minutes. But the drawback was mana exhaustion for 30 minutes afterwards. Se-yeon finds it suspicious that a capable mage wants this kind of portion. On top of it all, she couldn't understand how he knows so much about her and her brother. She then reveals that she dug into the weak point of her brothers he mentioned. She says she did that through her own channels, and it was honestly shocking. She admits that he always seemed a bit shady, but he killed someone, and there are traces of contact with someone suspected of being a main. She questions how on earth he found out about this. That is thanks to the original novel, of course, but an extra like her did not need to know that. Han Sejin is a high-risk character who, driven by greed, sides with the mains and turns into a full-blown villain, but he knows he cannot explain that in a simpler way. He promises to tell her if she gives him 5% of the pharmaceutical stock. Se-yeon pouts in annoyance as that will not happen. She then reveals she got the arena ticket, but it is not transferable, so he must enter with her. She then questions what exactly he is planning to do there. Sang-woo says he made money, so now he must grow it. Se-yeon takes a deep pause and is instantly shocked, wondering if he is going to blow all the money she sent him on gambling. Her demeanor darkens as she calls him insane and reminds him that their deal will terminate at the end of this month. The system window soon pops up, revealing that her character is deeply disappointed in him, and her interest has dropped sharply. Sang-woo was surprised to see this, but still, it did not matter. He wears his mask, knowing that by the time they leave the arena, he will have earned even more of her trust anyway, and so the two made their way into the arena as VIPs. Before they could go underground, a man comments that it has been a while since they had a VIP member. Seon-woo's mouth gapes open as he recognizes the man as an S-rank main and top-tier villain, Ha-ryung. But it is no wonder that he is there, considering he is the host of this very arena. The man suggests they have a good time and leaves. Seon-woo gulps and takes some mental notes to not get tangled up with him. Soon, everyone gathers underground in the arena. Se-yeon takes note of the hyped atmosphere and the crowd. Seon-woo guesses it must be because of Hongju. He is the most popular fighter and a mage who has held the champion spot for 3 years, basically an A rank. Se-yeon says there is not much money to be made from him, as everyone will bet on him. Sang-woo agrees. He says in order to have money, he must place a bet, a popular fighter's opponent. Even the manager was shocked. Se-yeon tells him to be certain about his decision. To her shock, Seon-woo reveals that his opponent is a rookie, having their debut match today. Ha-ryung, the owner of the arena, soon hears that someone actually bet 530 million on Hongju's opponent. The manager reveals that it is a VIP wearing a rabbit mask. The owner guesses that it is probably pocket change to them, and he must be some rich guy with weird tastes. However, Kang-baek soon learns that Kim Jin-woo showed up at the underground arena with Sion. He knew this was the perfect opportunity, as he had been frustrated having no intel on him. Tonight, he plans to avenge his main ally, Jang Han. The matches of the arena soon began. The audience is extremely ruthless when it comes to fights. It was soon time for a match between Hongju and the rookie Liang Lang. The host reveals that this match has 8 billion on champion Hongju and a whopping 530 million on rookie Liang Liang. Seon-woo smiles, knowing everyone played it safely and bet on Hongju. He soon hears people talking about the anonymous individual being a lunatic for putting 530 million solo on Liang Liang. That is because if you lose, you will get nothing. However, Seon-woo was confident in his decision. It is because if this goes his way, he is walking out with almost 6 times what he put in. The fighters soon entered. Seon took one look at the fighters and was dumbfounded to see the weight class difference. Seowon's confidence did seem to falter as he saw Liang Liang, who was skinnier than he expected. It might be because he has not grown yet. In reality, he is not here just for the money. Jaehyun is the villain group that plays a huge role in the main story. As for Liang Liang, he is someone who ends up joining that villain group, and so he wanted to see him fight at least once. He decides not to panic, as it was written in the original after all. Liang Liang never lost a single match in the underground arena. Hongjo instantly activates his power and underestimates his opponent. He couldn't believe he had to deal with a guy like this. To end it quickly, he rushes towards Liang Liang. Liang Liang instantly dodges his attack, but he is unable to do so any further and goes flying back on the wall. The audience cheered for Hongjo, while Seon-woo wondered if Liang Yang could really win. As for Kang-baek, he stood outside the arena. He wants to storm in right now, but if he ruins Ha-ryung's event, he won't make it out in one piece. That is for sure. He questions when the event ends, and the driver reveals it will end at 10:30. He smiles in satisfaction, knowing there is no need to rush. He has plenty of time to kill him. On the other hand, Hongju constantly punches Liang Liang in his body, not giving him the chance to retaliate. He suggests he knows his place and gets lost, punching him away. The crowd continued to cheer for Hongju, and Seon-woo wondered if he really won. However, the tide of the fight soon took an 180 degrees turn. Staggering, Liang throws a sharp weapon towards Hongju's chest, injuring him instantly. Hongju becomes furious and lunges towards him. Liang instantly activates his powers and attacks Hongju, injuring him further. With his chest now fully open and blood gushing out, he remains defeated. The audience was filled with pin-drop silence as they waited for Hongju to stand up once again. But the result was clear. Liang won, and so the crowd filled with shouts and murmurs, the wit of disappointment. Seonwoo sighs in relief, and he suggests they should head out, as his business is done. Ha Ryong believes this is a bit too convenient to call a coincidence. He thinks Liang is the only one because Hongju got careless. But that bet for sure had a clear intention behind it. And so he asks the manager to look into what the man who won big betting today does. Outside, Sion asks Seonwoo how he knew Liang would win. He says it was intuition annoying her more. To him, today was an absolute jackpot. Thanks to the bet, his balance has increased significantly because he has gained a lot of achievements with Sion trusting him again. He was happy to have earned 7,000 points from hitting that interest milestone alone after blowing through his points, trying killing intent since he is earning it right back. He clearly knows girl math, but his attention diverts, and he becomes alert as he senses danger nearby. More specifically, it was killing intent. There is one group that comes to mind. In the original, there was the main out for revenge for Jang Han-soo. Se-yeon notices his expression and asks what's wrong. Seonwoo asks her for a favor. Kang Baek's driver informs him of how their target's movements have changed. He suggests they stop the car and they kill him right here. He discreetly sees Kim Jinwoo walking outside with something in his hand. He can't see Sion nearby and wonders if this is really the guy who killed Jang Han. He was surprised because his body was not drained and the energy he gave off was weak. Seonwoo drinks the elixir mana and asks him to come out. His mana recovery speed had now increased intensely for 10 minutes. He confronts Kang Baek, pointing out that he has noticed him aiming at him for a while now. Kang Baek were surprised to see his aura certainly intensifying, but still it was not threatening, and so he remained calm and approached him, unleashing his true power at him. Seonwoo attacks in return too. Their opposing powers clash with each other fiercely, but the main was powerful, and his shots reach Seonwoo. With that, an explosion occurs. From afar, Sion notices it and realizes it has started. Earlier, Seonwoo had told her that someone was telling them. He had told her to drive somewhere more secluded as he needed to catch her. He had told her that the enemy mana exceeds B rank, so it will not be easy, and so he asks for her help. Sion agreed and dropped him off, suggesting that he come back safe. Back in the present, Seonwoo confidently dodges all the attacks. Kang Baek smirks and mocks, questioning if all he can do is dodge. In that case, he intensifies his attack speed. Seonwoo remains flabbergasted, and he barely manages to avoid it. He now had less than 2 minutes of effect left. It was time to settle this. He activates Great Nature's Heart effect. Now, for 1 minute, his mana recovery speed had increased. Kang Baek becomes astonished to see his opponent radiating a much stronger aura. He prepares his attacks, but Seonwoo manages to speed rush and avoid them. He tries to close the distance between the two, but Kang draws a line with his weapon. But Seonwoo was quicker than him and managed to injure him. Not wanting to give him any more openings, he presses the attack while he can. He manages to get close to him and grabs Kang by his throat. But luck did not seem to be on his side, as it was then that his mana exhaustion period started. Kang Baek takes this opportunity to prepare for his attack once again. However, their fight is intervened in by Sugi, a powerful S-rank mage and the sword of the Hansung family. Seonwoo watches one of the strongest men in the original story proudly. He was called Sword Demon for a reason after all. He had cut down Kang, who could trade blows with a ranks in a single stride. Sugi looks at him in disdain, commenting that a mere man dared to lay a hand on the youngest daughter of the Hansung family. Soon Sion approaches them. She worriedly inspects Seonwoo and questions if he is hurt anywhere. He assures her that he didn't get hurt much and does not need support. With that B-rank villain, Kang was dead. The system interface reveals that a very slight change in the story has been detected and the casualty rate increased by 0.6. Seonwoo smiles, satisfied by his decisions. Sugi turns to Sion and questions if they should report this to the chairman, as a main attack is no small matter. Seonwoo speaks of recommending that they do not. He explains that if word spreads that someone from the Hansung group was attacked by me, it will cause a huge uproar. In reality, he did not need to blow up things that deviate from the original. Sion knew he was right. If this leaks outside, it will just drag in annoying trouble. And so they decided decided to keep what happened today between them. 3 days have passed by. As thanks for saving her during the Kang incident, Sion offered to find Seonwoo any information he needed, and what he asked her for then was the timing for when Sacred Heart portions go commercial. For this very moment, he would have gone all in and bought up Hansung Pharma stock with everything he had. And so, he remains alert on his phone, waiting for the clock to strike 9, as that is when the market opens. And so he manages to increase his balance immensely. Before Regression, even a lifetime of dungeon runs wouldn't have bought him a house. Who knew money could be this easy to make? He feels a bit bittersweet, to say the least. He soon gets a text from Sion questioning if he wants to get lunch with her tomorrow, as she has got a present for him. They soon met at a cafe and discussed how the corporation's stock shot up quite a bit. Seonwoo made a profit of 3 billion in a single day and thanks her for it. He then questions what gift she mentioned. Sion discloses that she found out who that man was that attacked them. His name was Baek Kang. When he was disguised as a human, he was a notorious hitman. But during this investigation, she learned someone dealt with Kang frequently, and that was her older brother, Sejin. Seowon was surprised to hear this piece of information. He knew the vice chairman was dealing with mains, but he did not think Kang was one of them. He chuckled, saying the information is interesting, but that is not exactly a gift if it does not benefit him. Sion could not help but smile at his calculated nature, saying that is annoying even after they save each other's lives. She then reveals a box saying this is the real gift, and a way of saying she will be counting on him. She further adds on that she asked to meet him today because she will be busy for a while. Upon questioning, she says that now that she knows that Sejin is closely linked to Kang, it is pretty obvious who was behind the attack. She asserts that she cannot stand being in anyone's debt, whether it is a favor or a grudge. With that, she stands up and leaves. Seonwoo begins to ponder deeply. Sion's assumption that her brother was behind Kang is still just a misunderstanding, but the fact he is a villain does not change. Sooner or later, he will get in her way too. In that case, taking down Sejin through Sion did not seem like a bad idea to Seonwoo. He gets surprised as she calls out to him from behind, as he had expected her to leave already. Sion smiles and hopes it suits him, saying that she picked that gift out herself. Seonwoo smiles and thanks her. He opens the box to see it was a man alloy bracelet. His face instantly lights up. However, he gets distracted as a system window pops up. According to it, the character Ha Rayong was curious about him. This earned him 1,500 points as a reward. Ha Rayong meets with Cheonhai, someone whom he had not seen in almost 10 years. The man talks about how his close friends Jangon and Kang were killed a few days ago. Coincidentally, there is a human mage tangled up in both incidents. According to what Kang found before he died, that man visited the arena not long ago. He then questions Ha Rayong if he has perhaps ever heard the name Kim Jinwoo. Ha Rayong instantly recognizes that name. He was the VIP who bet on Liang Liang. Cheonhae bitterly asks for information on Kim Jinwoo, vowing to spill that man's blood on his fallen friends' graves. However, Ha Rayong traps Cheonhae as an intense aura gushes out of him, filling the room with a suffocating presence. He then threatens the man to be prepared to face the consequences if he is thinking of laying a hand on his client. Cheonhae instantly folds, promising not to touch Kim Jinwoo. Bro went from "I'll kill him" to "I didn't mean it like that" really quick. Ha Rayong sighs and tells him to just deliver the 10 Demons Council's message. Cheonhae, breathless, reveals that from the holy relic, the prophet's altar, a prophecy has come down. In the year the child destined to destroy Mains turns 18 and awakens, the king of Mains will meet his end by that hand. According to the prophet's altar, the place where this now 18-year-old child of prophecy resides is the Magic Academy. Meanwhile, inside the Magic Academy, Seonwoo decides to lie low as Kim Jinwoo for a while. He decided this because he knows it is not the time to get tangled up with Ha Rayong yet, or it would be dangerous. Plus, there is something more important to focus on right now. With his magic, he opens the magic-imbued book. Its power was to deploy a barrier that blocks one spell. Before long, midterms at the academy will begin. It is where students prove their ability in front of all kinds of important people. Careers get decided here, no pressure. It is a key event tied to Seojin's future path. But this matter matters even more because of the child of prophecy. That child is the future ally of Seojin, and the one born with the power to destroy the means to flush out the still unawakened child of prophecy. The Mains will infiltrate the school at 4 p.m., only to be completely wiped out by Seojin. That is how it went in the original. The scale is not huge, but it is an episode loaded with important hints. Yeah. Easy win, perfect outcome, clean story. But this isn't the original timeline anymore, and that's the problem. Seonwoo will be having his hands full because he will not just be watching the main character of this world, but the child of prophecy too. The students are soon told by the instructor to prepare for midterms, and that this year's second years will be doing several days of free sparring classes. If they cannot find a partner today, they should just watch or practice alone. You Ara watches Seo-jun with sheer competitive expression, hoping to defeat him. Sang-woo watches them, knowing that both of them will pair up together just like in the original. But what was unexpected was that literally no one would ask to partner with him. No matter how good you are at theory and barrier breaking, nobody wants to team up with the dead law student. But it does not matter to him, because the person who will be his partner has already been decided. The scene shifts to Seo-jun dodging fatal attacks from Ara, who was charged up. She comments that with his skills, she will be taking the top spot in the school from now on. Seo-jun instantly activates his mana, telling her not to get ahead of herself. It is because he has not even finished warming up yet. Yoon Hae-young watches the two passionate students spar with all they have got. One had the rank of 1 and the other rank of 2 in the whole school. She then stares at her mana proficiency and decides not to pay attention. It is because the more she compares herself to geniuses, the smaller she will feel. Previously, no one had decided to pair up with her because she was 82nd overall. She heard people talk about how her theory is rock solid, but she is weak in practice. It didn't matter if she was a good person, as her brains couldn't back up her talent. This hurt her deeply. She tries to channel her power onto the dummy where she was secretly practicing, but to no avail. This only crushes her spirit even more, and she breaks down, wondering why nothing works no matter how hard she tries. Just then, Seon-woo appears and points out that her eye construction is flimsy. He approaches her and says that her ice is not even that cold, and her accuracy sucks on top of it. Overall, it just shows her fundamentals are lacking. This was Seon-woo's way of taking responsibility for what he did. Originally, during the dungeon expedition, Seo-jun's advice would have helped her grow to 6th in the year by now. But because he interfered, she missed that chance and stalled out. He assures Yoon Hae-young that she might be lacking now, but if she sticks with him, he will make sure she can at least pull her own weight. Yoon Hae-young, however, did not react well to his advice and instead coldly points out that since his own skills are not enough, he's dragging someone else's confidence to make them follow him. Seon-woo sighs and says it might be possible. Or maybe she can't refute what he is saying and is getting mad instead. Furious, Yoon Hae-young begins to leave, having a negative opinion about him now. Seon-woo was about to apologize, but Yoon Hae-young challenged him to a match instead. She mocks that she wants to see how amazing this dead last student really is. Seon-woo beams with victory as he has managed to hook her, and so he agrees to the challenge. Yoon Hae-young releases her mana and instantly charges at him, beginning the match. Seon-woo manages to dodge it and notices how the density of her constructs changed the moment she got serious. But he infuriates her even more when he continues, pointing out how her attack pattern is too simple. Ice attribute manifestation mages are supposed to shine in utility. Pissed, Yoon Hae-young tries a different pattern and unleashes the manifestation attribute in the air and directs all of it towards Seon-woo in one direction. She has said he was surprised to see it. The thing that never worked, no matter how much she produced, certainly works now. Seon-woo sits on top of the iceberg she created, knowing that people need the right stimulus first if they're going to draw out their abilities, and so he knew provoking her really was the right choice. Yoon Hae-young, however, wasn't happy with him and asked how he planned to win if he only ran away. Seon-woo answers that inexperienced manifestation majors all share one weakness. With that, he jumps towards her, locking powers, saying that once you get in close, they are easy to shut down. But before he could land the final blow, he stops and says it was a good spar. Yoon Hae-young falls to the floor, saying that she lost and commenting that she might really learn magic from him. Seon-woo offers his hand, saying that she just didn't know how to bring out her talent, and promises to help her. Yoon Hae-young smiles and takes his hand, saying that she will give him a chance. The system interface reveals that her favorability towards him has increased. He starts by teaching her about the attribute adaptation training. All magic starts with adapting to your attribute. Adapting means understanding the attribute, and that determines how well you can manifest magic. In other words, without basics, no amount of practice will actually raise her level. Yoon Hae-young says she knows what attribute adaptation training is, but she has never heard of doing it his way. She stood freezing, surrounded by ice. Sang-woo smiles like a sadist, saying that feeling it with your whole body is the fastest, easiest way, so she should hurry up and start adapting. On the other hand, Kyonhae gathers the mains operating around the Magic Academy. He debriefs that the infiltration date to find the Child of Prophecy at the Academy has been set for next week. Their contact insight says security gets lax during midterms. Ha Ryong won't help him, as he had said. There are more important matters than the fate of their race. But a main says that scouts from every major guild will be swarming the school that day, so it would be impossible for 4 B-rank mains to kill the Child of Prophecy. Cheonhae instantly launches a demon grand barrier, saying that they are free to rampage as they like, as he will be joining them to ensure the killing of the Child of Prophecy. In the meantime, Seon-woo continues teaching teaching Yoon Hyeong the fundamentals. He instructs her to be able to picture eyes even without their actual presence and carve that sensation into her whole body. She becomes sentimental when she sees herself finally being able to do it. She stares at the ice, a fear she made with her own power, and becomes cheery. Seonwoo was happy to see her like this too. Just a few days of training have improved her this much. Moreover, he gained points as a reward for her not trusting him. Yoon Hyeong tells him to throw in more eyes, but he knows she is in pain. But he needs to help her grow so she can stand by Seojin's side as his ally. And so he had no choice but to bitterly throw in more eyes. Meanwhile, someone watches them from a distance. The girl, Seo-yoon, was shocked to see them and thinks the incident is school violence. In her eyes, it seemed like Seon-woo was bullying Yoon Hyeong, and she decided to report this to the teachers right away. Unlike her, he instructed approaches from behind, and she seemed to be impressed. The teacher, Hyeong, comments that it is always beautiful to watch talented students grow. She points out to the shocked girl that this is called attribute adaptation training. She says she has been watching them since day one. She has seen Yoon Hyeong improve her mana manifestation this much in such a short time. But what she finds even more remarkable is the judgment of a certain student who immediately identified a friend's problem and guided her through it. The teacher was surprised to see that this girl remembers Seon-woo's name, as she only memorized the top-ranked students' names. The teacher cheerfully says that he is a high-potential talent, so it is good to remember his name early. Seo-yoon, however, comments that he is still dead last in the whole school right now. Plus, someone who only does nice things for others doesn't mean he will raise his own skills. In the end, all people see are the results. This makes the teachers wonder, and she suggests they give him a chance to prove his skills. And she says she looks forward to this midterm. Sanwoo stares at the system interface tab, knowing he is screwed. There was a special sale on a subspace pocket. However, there were only 5 days remaining. A subspace pocket is an extremely valuable item. Since you can summon stored items anywhere, it is useful in both combat and daily life. It is great that this kind of item showed up in the special sales shop. But of all the times it goes on sale when he has no points, he was determined to find a surefire way to scrape together points. He soon gets a notification on his phone from his teacher. He was told to come to the staff room before the class starts. In the staff room, there were 2 other students as well, Yu Ara and Inhwan. The teacher reveals that the 3 students have been selected for the second-year manifestation advanced class. She suggests they think of it as an intensive class for students with high potential, regardless of their grades. Seon-woo is instantly reminded of how Seojun was in the enhancement advanced class, and so he was happy to get a chance to get in, as this means he will have more chances to be around the main character. But Inhwan butts in and says he opposes Seon-woo joining the advanced class. Seon-woo gets irritated, wondering what this guy's problem is. Inhwan arrogantly says that it is unfair for him, who is in his 5th year, to be grouped with a dead last loser. He hypes Yu Ara to say something as well, but she just sighs and says she doesn't care who gets into the advanced class. She just worries about herself. This only agitates Inhwan more. He tries hard to control himself, to say that it is no wonder she has no friends. The teacher calmly asks Seon-woo what he thinks of Inhwan's opinion. Seon-woo confidently says if rank is the problem, he will just raise his. The teacher was impressed by his answer and suggested that he prove his skills on the midterm as well before he joins the advanced classes. Later, Seon-woo tells Yoon Hyeong of his plans. Hyeong was excited to follow his lead. The second-year midterm is a cooperative battle. You team up with a partner to fight the summoned green giant. If you target the weak point inside its body, you can take it down instantly, but each one is in a different spot and hard to spot. So most students get good grades just by surviving the monster's attacks. But the truly skilled geniuses will actually defeat the creatures. Seojun manages to defeat the creature effortlessly. It was now Seon-woo's and Hyeong's turn. They effectively worked together to overpower the green giant with both their mana powers. The audience was at first skeptical and laughed at them. They had been expecting Seon-woo to embarrass himself. He instantly activates outsider benefits. This time he has zero intention of playing the clown. And so he flawlessly attacks the giant and is confident that this is going to end easier than he thought. However, he gets distracted as he sees Cheonhaeon here in the crowd. This causes him to barely hit the giant. He couldn't believe that the ringleader of the attack was already at the school. The main's infiltration into the school was definitely supposed to happen at 4 p.m. after the exams ended. His attention diverts as Hyeong tells him to look out. Turns out the giant goblin was lunging towards him, ready to hit him. But his teammate defends him using her ice powers, and she tells him to snap out of it. She helps him get up and he instantly launches his powers, instantly defeating the giant. The giant rolls in pain and dissipates instantly. The audience, along with the judges, was in shock. With that, he was able to elevate his previous fallen reputation. We all began to cheer for him and Hyeong. Soon the system interface began to reveal that many people now remember his face, and he gained a lot of reward points. But to Seon-woo, the exam did not matter right now, as it was 12 now and the story had deviated from the original. He begins to ponder whether his behavior is affecting the original plot and whether the outcome outcome of saving the school could change too. He stared blankly at the midterm final rating screen like a man checking crypto after one bad tweet from Elon Musk. Before he could spiral further into existential doom, Haeyoung approached him nervously. Haeyoung anxiously asks if something is wrong. Seo-woon assures her that he is just a bit tired and will rest up. However, she thinks she must have messed up somewhere in the exam, but he tells her to have some confidence as she was perfect today. Haeyoung cheers up and thanks him before leaving. Seo-woon knew that since the timeline was all messed up, he needed to check how much the plot had deviated from the original. If the story is still following the original plot, then Sejun must definitely be here by now. Sejun was surrounded by a bunch of students urging him to join their teams. The scene looked less like a school event and more like the NBA draft mixed with a toxic LinkedIn networking event. He politely apologized, saying he was only 18 and not old enough to join a guild yet. However, they still forced him to take their cards. One scout practically looked ready to offer dental insurance. Seon-woo approaches him and tells him that a teacher is looking for him to say something about his grades. The others take note of him and realize he is at the bottom of the whole school. Seo-jun realizes Seon-woo is helping him get out of the troublesome situation and leaves. Meanwhile, some men from the special task force were also spectating the exam. They believed that Seo-jun's fighting techniques were fitting for the third disciple of the strongest mage guild, Master Jin Cheol. But they also couldn't believe that the other student, who was said to be dead last, could have such insane combat sense. They knew it was not just a mere sense. Instead, that knack for spotting weaknesses in an instant can only come from experience. However, they began to laugh at their assumption, wondering where an 18-year-old got experience from. As one of the task force men wonders, he realizes they said Seon-woo looks like a mage, Kim Jin-woo, and the kid in his class was Seo-jun. He still finds it weird that an 18-year-old is pulling off compressed manifestation, so both men decide to remember the name. On the other hand, Seo-jun thanks Seon-woo for helping him earlier. They get to talking, and Seon-woo reviews how he is planning on pre-studying for next year's exams, as it is a good idea. Seo-jun mumbles how he does not want to get nabbed by the scouts again. San-woo assures him they all went to the reserved seats with the teachers, and that they have a different entrance, so there is no chance of running into them. Plus, he reminds Seo-jun that he must remain at the top of the school. Seo-jun sighed like a student who just realized academic validation had become his entire personality, but he eventually agrees, hoping not to get spotted. Seon-woo recalls how the assault starts at the third-year exam hall, an easy spot to reach the insider. There is no clue when the attack kicks off, so he has to pin Sejun at the exam hall and hunt Cheonhae. This is the easiest, fastest way to protect the child of prophecy. Now the original plot seems to be on track, causing him relief. Now the two boys began to spectate the sparring. Meanwhile, outside, delicate information was being revealed to Cheonhae on how scouts entered their third-year exam hall, per the insider's intel. He was told by Yang Hyun that monster summoning arrays are hidden all over the school. Cheonhae praises her good work and decides that it is finally time to hunt the child of prophecy. While Seon-woo seemed to be wary of his surroundings, Seo-jun was having the time of his life watching the third-year exams. He cheered as his senior, Chang-hyun, won over Min-ye. To him, the senior was like a manifestation-type textbook, while he liked Min-ye's sharp moves. Seon-woo, on the other hand, was scouring the whole match, but there was no sign of Cheonhae, making him wonder what was going on. Seo-jun takes note and questions why he is looking for him like that. Seon-woo laughs awkwardly, saying he's just seeing if any guilds want to scout him. Sejun says he has grown insane since the semester started, and everyone was shocked to see his exam and asks how he trained to get that strong. However, both of them get distracted as intense purple energy fills the air. Students pointed upward in confusion. The air itself trembled violently. Seon-woo's face drains of color as he realizes that something like this has not happened in his previous life. And whenever a regressor says this didn't happen before, everyone collectively knows the plot is about to hit levels of disaster usually reserved for season finales, global recessions, or a surprise diss track from Kendrick Lamar. The students began to grow concerned, wondering what is up with the barrier that has surrounded the grounds. Meanwhile, near a bench, there was a mysterious bag that opened automatically, leaking out some dark energy mass. Somewhere, Cheonhae smirks, signaling those dark energies to attack. Out come monsters, instantly rushing towards their prey. The school speaker soon announces that monsters have invaded their school and that they should evacuate to the safe zone. About time, I guess. Cheonhae knew that the teachers, scouters, and mages who could be of help were all trapped by the barrier. If there is no one to help, the child of prophecy will reveal their true identity. That's what he believes. Soon a man comes forth to block the path of monsters. He swings his weapon, causing many of the monsters to be slain. He was from the task force along with his colleague. Cheonhae couldn't believe his eyes. The arrival of the special task forces soon reaches the students' ears as well. They said they came to watch Seojun's match, and now they're saving people by holding off the monster horde. Seon-woo believes if the special task force joins, they can still turn the situation around, but the main problem is lifting the barrier. On the other hand, some guys were regretting not being inside the stadium. A support class teacher, Yoon-jin, says that she needs one more A-rank support mage to lift the barrier besides her, but they did not have one among them, as high-rank support mages are rare. A fight begins to break out on breaking the barrier. Seon-woo is aware that the problem isn't that it takes a long time to lift the barrier. In fact, it is the fact that it is actually impossible to lift. Cheonhai's barrier magic is world-class. Even in the original story, if it were not for a surprise attack, Seojun couldn't have defeated him. Seon-woo believes he has no choice but to step in. However, before he could do so, another figure steps forward, saying that she can try. The woman introduces herself as Young Yun, an A-rank support mage, saying it is fortunate that she happened to be nearby. She promises to take care of everything. Seon-woo knew her real identity as Yang Hyun, but he knows even if he claims that she is a demon, it won't solve the case and only raise suspicion even more. Yang Hyun, or right now as Young Yun, volunteers to assist in lifting the barrier along with the support teacher, and so the two began to work on lifting the barrier thanks to the relief of others. Sejun expresses his relief, but Seon-woo refuses to relax. He grabs Sejun by the sleeve and tells him to follow him. As for the support teachers, she begins to sense something strange. When the barrier was being lifted on one side, it was being double-locked from the other side. She soon comes to realize that the barrier is not being lifted at all. Instead, it is actually being strengthened. Cheon-hae watches from a distance and can tell the support teacher is quite sharp, and he decides to draw some attention. With the flick of his finger, he intensifies the dark energy in one of the monsters, who instantly begins to rush towards the other side of the barrier. One of the monsters instantly lunges at Young Yoon. However, to everyone's shock, the monster was eliminated right on the spot, all thanks to the task force man. The man doesn't find anything strange, believing that they're lifting the barrier from both inside and outside to continue to fight the monsters. The other way also tells the woman to rest assured, as he stakes the honor of the special task force to protect her. Young Yoon feigns a smile and thanks them. Meanwhile, Seon-woo leads Seojun to the backside of the barrier and to the rear of the exam hall. Seon-woo reveals that there is no one here, and so they should lift the barrier here. He then reveals the truth to his friend about how the support mage had just arrived as a demon who is pretending to lift the barrier while actually strengthening it. Sejun was astonished and decided to tell the right people. Seon-woo says there is no proof, and it is just suspicion for now. Plus, there is no guarantee people will believe him even if he has the proof. He tells him to go and tell people after he lifts the barrier, as everyone will believe the words of a world-renowned genius rather than a mere student. Sejun was a little taken aback but agreed, and they decided to try lifting the barrier once and for all. Seon-woo gets to work his high-rank guidance magic circle, activating and analyzing the magic formula. To everyone's shock, the demon's great barrier lifts instantly. Cheon-hae was astounded the most, but to Seon-woo it was nothing special. He tells Seojun to go quickly as they have to solve the case. However, before going, Seojun questions why he's trying to hide his achievements when people can actually recognize his skills. Seon-woo smiles, stating this is enough for him. He urges him to keep everything that happened here a complete secret. Cheon-hae trembles from head to toe in utter fury, cursing his subordinate, an incompetent fool who couldn't even maintain a single barrier properly. Yang Hyun, on the other hand, couldn't understand who on earth breached the barrier when she definitely had a double lock. Nonetheless, she and the other support teacher were praised for their work. But now it was time for the real heroes to deal with the rest of the monsters. And so now a fight on equal ratio breaks out between the teachers and monsters. There was a reason there were teachers, as they clearly struck out against the monsters. The special task force thanks them for their cooperation, as the area seemed to be cleared quickly with their help. One of the task force men says they do not know who the instigator is and where he is hiding, so after regrouping, they need to search for that guy first. The support teacher from earlier approaches, saying she might not know who the instigator is, but there is one suspicious person. She accuses Young Hyun of it, blaming her for being a Majin. However, the others do not believe it, and instead believe that she is trying to frame the person who helped disable the barrier. The task force decides not to intervene just yet. Young Hyun scoffs, and playfully says she simply took a long time because she was matching the support teacher's utterly pathetic skill level. Just then, Seojun enters the conversation and agrees with the support teacher. But the barrier kept locking down every time she tried to disable it. Everyone was shocked to see the genius interview. Now they were all ears. He says he had a vague feeling that the barrier's condition was strange. But since Seon-woo made him promise to keep what happened here a secret, he made up an excuse about how he knew the story behind how barriers work. Now that even the genius was saying the same thing, they all began to believe something was definitely suspicious. Yang Hyun knew she was stuck in a bit of a puddle and wondered what she should do now. Cheon-hae entered the scene just then, telling her to do what needs to be done. The task force men instantly take notice of him and accuse him of being the instigator. He rushes towards him to capture him, but he instantly disappears. They could tell he was a dark A-rank Majin. Things were getting pretty serious. As for Yang Hyun, she instantly begins to transform into something strange and eerie, repeating Cheonhae's words. A few more figures also go through the transformation. Yang Hyun rushes towards the Seojun, swearing to kill as many humans as possible before she dies. However, with one swing of a sword, her head goes flying away. Seojun's eyes glistened as he said that she chose the wrong person to mess with. Soon the Majins were dealt with. Sejun thanks the task force team leader, who says it has been a year since they met at the chairman's residence. He praises Sejun's capabilities, saying he is on his way to becoming quite a competent mage. But Seojun was the only one who knew that the one who really deserves thanks is Kim So-eun-woo. So-eun-woo, on the other hand, wasn't having such a great time. He had now come face to face with the child of prophecy. Yoon Ha-young watched the scene in utter terror, wondering how things had come down to this. She remembers training with Ara when suddenly monsters and a Majin appeared. She had volunteered to help and fight with Ara. However, the other girl told her to just run and not get in the way, as she planned to handle that thing alone. But the Majin was too powerful compared to Ara. He also concludes that she might not be the one. He grabs her by the neck and says he simply can't resist blood imbued with high-quality mana. Just when Ara was losing consciousness, the Majin was struck by Yoon Ha-young's ice powers. The Majin lets go of Ara and turns to Ha-young, playfully commenting how this is such a touching friendship. He mocks that if she really thinks she can do anything to him with just that. Ha-young refuses to back down easily against the dark power. After all, she can't just run away and leave her friend behind to save herself despite knowing she cannot win. All of a sudden, her powers intensified, shocking Majin. They were enough to injure him, and he then began to wonder what was that intense power. His wounds weren't even regenerating, and he wondered what just happened. However, since the mana consumption was too severe, Ha-young lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Despite losing an arm, the Majin was glad to finally come face to face with the child of prophecy, a mage born with the power of demon extinction, and now he plans to kill her with his own hands. However, a figure approaches and refuses to let him do that. Seon-woo, with his Heart of Mother Nature powers activated. He asserts that the child of prophecy is an important figure and that Majin is the only one who will die. The Majin was a little taken aback by the sudden presence, but urged the boy not to interfere. He launches his dark powers onto the boy, but to no avail. It is because he was wearing the protection bracelet. The man shrieks in pain as he is attacked from all sides until he falls to his knees. He couldn't believe that a kid had this amount of mana. Seon-woo affirms that he has more experience than it looks. However, the Majin refuses to die alone and springs towards the child of prophecy, wanting to take her with him. Seon-woo was quick in his actions and instantly launched a ball of power towards him, killing him before he could reach the girl. With that, he was successfully able to subjugate the B-class villain Jin-san and achieve the savior feat. He was surprised to see Ha-young holding up well despite this being early for an awakening. The Majin, who were prophesied to be the birth of their natural enemy, will continue to target the academy. And Ha-young and Seojun will grow through this. That's how the story is. Ah-ra later wakes up in the hospital room, reading up on what happened. She finds it pathetic to be treated like a hero even though she did nothing. But Ha-young refuses, saying that she protected her from the Majin. Ah-ra remains grumpy, saying she only has minor bruises, but the academy is making such a fuss. She then tells Ha-young how she heard she fought the Majin in her place while she was unconscious. She asks Ha-young why she didn't run away alone when she told her to. Ha-young smiles brightly, saying that anyone would have done that in this situation. She says that she met someone who extended a hand to her when she was alone, and she also wanted to become that kind of person to someone else. Once she decided that she was able to summon the courage to face the Majin. Therefore, she tells Ah-ra that it is okay to ask for help when she is having a hard time. Ah-ra's demeanor darkens as this brings out bad memories. Stuck in a fire with her parents. No escape, no hope. Her father urged his wife to take their daughter and run away. But it was too late, and Ah-ra had to witness her parents burn to ashes right in front of her. Ah-ra shakes her head, saying she does not need help. Ha-young says the word of thanks is okay this time and reveals that if Seon-woo had not come to save them, neither of them would be alive. Seeing her confused, she brings out Seon-woo to explain the details. He greets them and says he came to deliver something. He hands Ah-ra her share of the Majin subjugation reward money. Seeing her confused, he explains that when he arrived, the villain was already in a near-death state thanks to her firepower and Ha-young's support. He says he only landed the finishing blow. Ah-ra refuses to take the share, saying she is too embarrassed to accept money earned with someone else's help. She then tells the other two to split the money. She then, also in a flustered state, thanks him for saving them. Seon-woo didn't seem happy with the circumstances, as he was planning on building a friendship with her. However, he becomes happy as the system will do, revealing that her interest in him has increased. Ha-young Hayoung also assured him that the girl is definitely acting like that because she is shy and has a strong sense of pride. Just in our system, a window appears with a special discount offer. As for Ah-ra, she could tell Seonwoo was lying. When she fainted, the Majin was far from near death. That means the boy killed him alone. He was neither an activation type nor a support type. He showed talent in all aspects, as if he had become a genius. Moreover, Hayoung's excellent skills that she saw recently, she heard that the boy's help was a big factor in that too. She couldn't help but wonder, why did he live like that despite her such abilities? She wonders if there is a reason or purpose to hide his power at their age, and is it because he also lost his family to those guys? Seonwoo had warned Hayoung about telling others about the powers she awakened when fighting the Majin. Hayoung had listened to him. Apart from that reason, she wanted to research her power herself. Compared to the original plot development, the time when Hayoung awakened the power of demon slaying is about 1 month earlier. Even if she is still inexperienced, fostering her strength in advance will be a great help in the distant future battle with the King of Majin. With this, Seonwoo can stably raise one of Seojin's companions. He tells Hayoung that he will make a training plan for her, so they should do it together. Hayoung reveals she is curious about one thing. She heard he ran to the training ground right after the barrier was lifted, and questioned if it was because of her. Her cheeks were flushed as she asked if he likes her. Seonwoo assures her it's not what she thinks. The midterm was just the result of believing in her potential, and regarding the Majin incident, he just ran over because he saw the explosion. Seemingly disappointed, she sighs. Seonwoo teases her, asking if she had perhaps another idea, and she begins to clarify that she was just joking. It's not like Seonwoo did not foresee this situation. Hayoung is a naive and bright character, but she needs to be where she belongs. Hayoung dejectedly says she shouldn't misunderstand and tells him to accept the tuition fees. Fueled with motivation, he promises to raise her rank. He suggests starting training from tomorrow, but his phone soon buzzes. His mouth gapes open in shock as he sees the amount of money that Seojun deposited in his account. After midterms ended, Seonwoo was able to meet the conditions required by teacher Hee-young. He was now allocated to the special talent class, which he had never even entered before regressing. Top students of the institute were all present in one place. That includes Seojun. With this benefit, he plans to intervene more easily in major future events. In-hwan, however, soon joins and mocks his status as the dead last. Sejun stood up for his friend. In-hwan questions if he even knows how much the special class average dropped because of this scumbag. But Ah-ra quietly puts him in place, stating Seonwoo is better than him, excluding the start of semester test. So In-hwan is the one who should stay quiet, as he is the one lowering the standard. The emotional damage landed harder than Inside Out 2, making grown adults cry over cartoon anxiety. In-hwan grows furious and teases her for caring about the loser. He proceeds to punch Seonwoo, but Seonwoo refuses to be the easy target and grabs his hand. Before In-hwan could cause further chaos, he is hit in the head and kicked away. Seonwoo and the others remain shocked. Seonwoo recognizes the guy from the special task force. Apparently, they visit the school for special class activities. The man confesses how he enjoyed watching the midterms and saw talent in Seonwoo. Seeing In-hwan still unconscious, he wondered if he went too hard right from the start. Previously, when he was told that he was to teach at the school, he was shocked. The team leader had told him that Majins, who were hiding separately, attacked the Magic Military Academy in a group. There are more than 1 or 2 suspicious points offered. It is because Majins usually operate individually unless there is an order from the king. It is also strange that they infiltrated the school so easily. There must have been cooperation from an insider. Therefore, the man, Hyun-soo, was instructed to coordinate with the school to find the Majin's objective and the insider. Fulfilling his duty, he introduces himself for this special class lesson. A girl questions if someone from the special task force coming here means their special class is being deployed for Majin subjugation or terror suppression. Hyun-soo seems to have zero filter and says that they cannot deploy chicks like her straight into actual combat. Instead, starting now, under his guidance, they will carry out a mission to search the area where monsters appear. It could be dangerous, so they must report immediately if they find anything suspicious. In reality, it is far from being a danger zone and is just a secret training ground exclusive to the special task force. There is one dungeon, but the task force has cleared it out completely, and they can pinpoint suspicious individuals using surveillance magic circles installed everywhere. Since the special class has more freedom of movement compared to other students, the insider is likely among them. Seonwoo believes that this is what Hyun-soo must be thinking. It is true that there is a Majin insider in the school, but since he is sharp, they will likely lay low for a while. What's important right now is allowing Seo-jun to obtain the S-rank item from the hidden stage concealed in the dungeon and assisting Seo-yoon, who will be partnering with him for this special class activity. Hyun-soo explains how teams will be formed in pairs of 2 and they must move to the operation area. Seon-woo was adamant about proceeding strictly according to the original work this time. However, he wonders if a variable won't occur in the group drawing surely just because he was added. However, he does end up getting teamed with Seo-yoon. Seo-yoon was initially happy to be paired with him, but seeing his face makes him wonder if being in the same group as her is really something that disappointing. While everyone else was anxious to get close to her, only Seo-jun and Seon-woo seemed to be different. Seo-jun and Ah-ra were teamed together. They watch their fellow mate in surprise as he cries for not getting paired with a cute junior like Seon-woo. The boy continues to have a breakdown, saying Seo-jun would not care because she is interested in him. He goes on and on about her being the only daughter of one of the 5 great mage families, possessing both skill and looks. Sejun points out how Ah-ra is also from a prestigious mage family, but the boy says they are different. He sighs, envying Seon-woo. On the other hand, Seon-woo and Seo-yoon made their way deep into the forest. Seo-yoon believes it is actually more comfortable for her if they're both unhappy about the situation. She couldn't believe he got close to Seo-jun despite being last in the school and now is even entering a special class. He found his actions blatantly suspicious. As for Seon-woo, the system was updating, and her curiosity was piqued. He felt like her stare was drilling a hole in the back of his head. He suggests that they check something over. Seo-yoon believes he is plotting something but is certain it won't work on her. However, she plays along with him. Seon-woo becomes shocked by her compliant behavior and can tell from her face that she's scheming something. He remembers how around this time, she was desperate to recruit Seo-jun, because keeping him close would increase her own value. He decides to use this as bait to lure her towards Seo-jun. He can make things proceed according to the original plot development this way. Seo-yoon continues to rage bait Seon-woo, reminding him of his humiliation at the beginning of the semester as well. But she does mention how pushing himself to enter the special talent last might actually be bad for him. If he attracts too much attention, he might end up making enemies instead. Everyone says Seo-yoon was born with everything: family background, talent, and looks. A completely different side is hidden beneath the surface though. The effort and tenacity required to meet the standards demanded by her family were the elements that completed her perfection. She is kind to everyone but keeps only those who elevate her value by her side. Her pretenses were a lonely survival method she had to learn on her own among the upper class. Seo-yoon tells him that no one is openly showing it, but aside from In-won, there are others who are not happy about his admission. Seon-woo is smiling, saying it does not matter. There is a life goal he absolutely wants to achieve here in the special talent class. Hearing this, Seo-yoon's eyes widen in astonishment. She remembers her father's strict words and how he has planned her entire life and how she just needs to follow it. That is all for her. So seeing someone have life goals was a pretty depressing subject for someone like her. She could only fake a smile and say she now understands a little bit about the reason teachers favor him. She curiously questions what he is going to achieve just by entering the special talent class. Seon-woo instantly grows alert as he senses a killing intent nearby. He pulls Seo-yoon behind, telling her to watch out and casting his magic. It was a clear ambush by none other than In-won. In-won says he is giving Seon-woo one last chance. If he values his life, he must keep his head down at school from now on. In-won grits his teeth in fury, telling him to die. With that, a fight ensues. On the other hand, the special students were busy fighting monsters. Meanwhile, Ye-jin, the Mage Association's Special Counter-Terrorism Task Force support-type message wonders if there is really a spy for the Majin among the students. She finds it pretty boring to spectate kids playing with training monsters with no sign of any suspicion. Hyun-soo explains that if there is a spy for the Majin, they will try to make contact with them when they are let outside. He tells her to tell him immediately if anyone acts suspiciously or leaves the training grounds. However, he tells him to wait. She had taken note of the fight that had broken out between Seon-woo, In-won, and Seo-yoon. She wonders why they're fighting like their lives depend on it. Seon-woo notes In-won's discharge speed was impressive. It seems he isn't a second-year rank 5 for nothing. If they keep stalling, it might ruin the plan. He begins to extract more mana and tells Seo-yoon to get back, as it is dangerous. Seo-yoon, however, was extremely furious and tried to knock some sense into both of them. She calls out In-won for projecting his inferiority complex on the senior. This only makes him angrier. Not helping in the least, he launches his fury upon the two. Ye-jin grows concerned as the magic circle has now vanished and she cannot see any longer. Hyun-soo remembers his promise to the school that they would not let the students get hurt. He hurries to break up the fight and tells her to keep monitoring the other sectors in the meantime. He really hopes nothing bad happens between the students. In-won continues to throw profanities at Seon-woo, while Seo-yoon tries her best to protect them. Seon-woo instantly activates his spell shield. His demeanor had entirely shifted. Before his regression, he just stood by and watched In-won's evil deeds. Because he was an extra, because he thought he shouldn't influence the plot development. But he remembers that Scumbag is just a minor character who only appears in the beginning and has no significance later on. He instantly activates his power, Heart of Mother Nature, and jumped towards In-won. In-won remains truly taken aback. But he doesn't have much time to process things as he slammed his face towards the ground. Seon-woo asks him to give him a reason why he should forgive him. In-won constantly goes on his knees, promising never to pick a fight and admitting he was wrong. Seo-yoon shakes her head, telling him it is a waste of mana. Seon-woo agrees, and it's not like he planned to harm the guy anyway. He threatens him to go as far away from here as possible, and if he sees him again, he will kill him. But he becomes irritated as the bully has the audacity to request him to keep this a secret. The shamelessness was honestly inspirational. Back at surveillance, Ye-jin confirmed the fight had ended. Hyun-soo acknowledges. Seon-woo, on the other hand, was satisfied to see In-won suffer for a bit, because now he will be receiving all of the Special Task Force's attention at once. Now the original plot seems to be on track as for In-won. His day somehow managed to get even worse. The guy was now actively being hunted down by Hyun-soo like he was on a magical version of a federal watch list. Seon-woo honestly felt zero sympathy. Compared to the absolute chaos already happening, this level of disruption would barely affect the original plot anyway, so he fully intended to sit back and enjoy In-won's suffering like people refreshing Twitter during celebrity scandal season. He and Seo-yoon then get to talk, and he says he kind of feels bad because she probably wanted to be in the same group as Seo-jun, but got mixed up in this instead. But she says she's just grateful he saved her, and according to the system interface, she seemed to develop interest in him. Big step. She confesses how initially she did not think very highly of Seon-woo because he lacked skill. It looked like he was just trying to get attention. But looking at him these days, he seems like a completely different person from the school's dead last attention seeker she knew. When he questions what he seems like these days, she ponders and says he is an amusing person. She then suggests they move on as they need to find something to show some results. That way he won't get looked down on by people like In-won. However, she soon bumps into something. A snake monster was right in front of her, and she shrieks from surprise. However, they see gold streaks of energy eliminating the monster instantly. Seon-woo and So-yoon immediately recognize the light attribute magic, knowing it is none other than Seo-jun. He reviewed how he was going around alone trying to help others, but it seems there are not any particularly dangerous monsters. He guesses he was too tense because they said it was dangerous. Seo-yoon immediately began glazing him harder than fans defending billionaires online. She casually suggested that if Seo-jun signed a sponsorship contract with her family, his future would shine even brighter. Seo-jun awkwardly laughed like a celebrity trying to dodge contract negotiations during an interview. Seon-woo, on the other hand, was swelling with delight. The location and the members were perfect. As long as the major event of Seo-jun discovering the hidden stage remains intact by bringing Seo-yoon near the dungeon, he can naturally have her join Seo-jun. From the start, the route he took to bring Seo-yoon here was calculated to overlap with Seo-jun's route in the safest way possible. He just needs to guide the way like a fairy godmother. He then points towards a direction, telling the others to look that way. The perfect actor he is, he suggested checking it out together as he's really curious about it. As they made their way inside, they could tell it was a hidden stage. The idea of a dungeon within a dungeon occurs very rarely. The difficulty is much higher than a normal dungeon, but if you clear it, you can obtain much more valuable rewards. Seon-woo is aware that the hidden floor of the Tower of Trials was also a type of hidden stage. It appears in a dungeon that was modified and deactivated. Seo-jun and Seo-yoon join forces to defeat the boss. This episode is an opportunity for Seo-jun, who acquires an S-rank weapon, to receive even more attention than now. But the truly important thing is something else. It's that Seo-yoon, having grown mentally, joins Seo-jun as a comrade at this point. Of course, Seon-woo has prepared everything perfectly so the two can clear it easily. Now, he suggests they try challenging this, but Seo-jun instantly refuses. Like a strict teacher, he babbles on about how there are too many variables in a hidden stage, and they need to report to the Special Task Force first. Clearly, a goody two-shoes. While Seon-woo was trying her best to make him change his mind, Seon-woo stared at her reflection in the water. Her reflection seems to be calling out to her, telling her to come. She takes the bait and is instantly captured by a rank B ghost watch. Seo-jun and Seon-woo instantly rush towards her, knowing it is a monster. Seon-woo knew the development had deviated from the original plot development, again as the monster had attacked first. As soon as they make their way towards the ghost, it instantly vanishes from their side, taking their fellow with her. Seon-woo ghosts, determined as he watches the manor circle, and tells Seo-jun so they can save Seo-yoon. Seojin questions if they shouldn't wait for the special task force. But Seonwoo says that she will die while they wait. The monster that snatched her has the ability to absorb mana, and so the two of them have to resolve this right now. Seojin knew. They had no other choice, and they made their way inside. Hyun-soo had now finally captured Inwon. Despite his strict interrogation, Inwon says he did nothing. However, he couldn't prove his innocence because he refused to tell about the embarrassment he had faced. Hyun-soo says he was going to take his student status into account if he confessed, but now he has no choice. He places him under emergency arrest on charges of colluding with Imagine. Absolute generational downfall. Even reality TV villains usually get a longer grace period. But as he tries to contact his junior, she reveals how a different situation has just erupted. 3 students have apparently entered the dungeon modified for training. Hyun-soo didn't seem to be bothered as he revealed how they deactivated the dungeon, so it is practically just a cave. However, he becomes astounded as he is told that signs of a hidden stage have appeared in that dungeon. Sejun, shivering from head to toe, makes his way towards the mana circle. To his surprise, Seonwoo has him wear a warm jacket with a heating effect. Knowing the hidden stage would basically be Mother Nature's freezer, Seonwoo had stocked up on winter gear beforehand and stuffed it all inside his interdimensional pocket. Bro prepared for the dungeon like he was packing for Antarctica with a Black Friday coupon. Sejun was shocked to hear that he owns an interdimensional pocket since it costs hundreds of millions. Seonwoo says he used stocks. Before long, Seojun spots a girl waving at them from a distance. Believing it to be Seoeun, he rushes toward the silhouette as she desperately calls for help. Congratulations! Bro failed the mandatory don't follow the creepy ghost girl tutorial in under 10 seconds. Seonwoo had already figured it out and defended them against it. As for the previous silhouette of the girl, it was not human at all. Seoeun was being controlled. Seonwoo's interface could detect bloodlust. He tells Seojun how Seoeun is being controlled by the Phantom Witch, and to save her, they have to take down the witch first. The witch caresses Seoeun, saying that the mana of the child's biting cold is a true delicacy. Once it has fully absorbed the girl, the boys are next. Lady wasn't even pretending anymore. She read the children like a 5-star restaurant menu. Seonwoo is aware that it is an undead monster, the Phantom, which is the polar opposite of Seojun's right attribute. Seojun wastes no time in going into battle with the witch. Seonwoo also assists him with his powers. He knows that as long as that thing has hijacked Seoyun's body, they have no choice but to stay on the defensive side. Seoyun, controlled by the witch, activates her main speciality activation type. Seojun continues to clash with her, determined to save her. However, the witch continues to provoke him, saying he is finding it hard to put his heart into it because he is fighting a girl. The witch calls out his attacks as pathetic. Seonwoo takes note of how her transitions between offense and defense are way too fast. The utility unique to the ice attribute is synergizing with the surrounding environment. He is soon surrounded by icicles blocking his path. He was now trapped with nowhere to go. Seonwoo, however, tries his best to dodge her icicle attack. Sejun seems to be growing impatient as he asks him to tell him what to do already, since he seems to have a plan. Seonwoo discloses that they have to find the witch's true body. If the main body is threatened, she will be forced out of Seoyun. Seojun states that there is nothing but snow and ice everywhere, so he must pinpoint the location. However, he becomes shocked when Seonwoo reveals he has no idea about it. Bro really said, Step 1, find the boss. Step 2, I was hoping you'd figure out Step 1. In the original plot, it is because Seojun defeated the witch by cutting through the entire area, and so Seonwoo hides from him so that he can definitely do it. Not him, but only Lee Seojun. Seonwoo gives him time by amplifying his mana elixir. The scene shifts to Hyun-soo interrogating Inwon. An embarrassed Inwon finally revealed the fight he lost. Hyun-soo now knows he should have investigated the students individually before taking action. Now, a crying Inwon was trying to tell him that those kids went in there, and it has nothing to do with him. Hyun-soo believes it is his mistake for not guaranteeing the students' safety, and that this hidden stage is an unexpected anomaly. First, he decides to try seeing if the entrance can be opened from the outside, or else they can only pray that the children clear the hidden stage and make it out. Nothing boosts confidence quite like your rescue plan being thoughts and prayers. An enormous crowd had gathered outside the cave while the teacher tried to calm them all down. Seonwoo's junior also hopes that he will come out alive because she still has questions to ask. Imagine surviving a haunted dungeon only to get hit with unpaid homework afterward. Meanwhile, inside the hidden stage, Seojun had no idea what Seowoon meant by he can do it. Seonwoo says that in here, Seojun can release his power to his heart's content. As for the witch, she has taken note of how the mana flow of one of the boys has changed, and she wonders what kind of trick they are trying to pull, and so she attacks them from behind. As the boys try their best to dodge her attacks, Seonwoo tells Seojun not to hide his strength in front of him and show him his power exactly as it is. This reminds Seojun of the only time he swung his sword with everything he had during the last Majin attack. Even during the midterms, he held back. He believes that if he gets too far ahead, someone might get hurt. But most of all, he couldn't believe that Seon-woo noticed that minute difference, and so he becomes determined and tells the witch that they should give it their all. The witch seems to have perked up and tells the mere human children to go ahead and try. Sejun says he has no other choice and decides to live up to it. Sejun tells the witch that he cannot help it because she is expecting so much from him. He now feels compelled to meet her expectations, and with that he activates his light attribute mana, causing the witch's utter shock. Seon-woo hypes his bestie to blow away the whole dungeon. The witch could sense that its main body would be in danger and instantly left Seojun's body. The boys take this opportunity to hunt down the witch. The witch shrieks that it won't let the humans have their way. Seon-woo smiled, saying, "Then there is no reason to keep her alive anymore." Before she could tell, Seojun wore his sword with light attribute mana, causing immense damage. Meanwhile, outside the cave, people were trying to open the entrance. However, despite much time, analysis of the entry portal was only 2% completed, in which not even a mosquito could get in. No matter what support type mage they bring, it won't open any further. Hyun-soo knows he now has to take responsibility into his own hands, even if he gets reprimanded by the team leader. However, as he contacts the leader, he is shocked to see him act casually and tell him to wait for Seojun to come out on his own. It seems they all soon came to understand what the team leader meant. All of a sudden, golden streaks of light began to emerge from the cave and fly towards the sky. The students were shocked and wondered if a boss monster popped out or something. However, the junior could recognize that light attribute mana was definitely Seojun's. As for Seojun, his sword had been destroyed. He had expected it to turn out like this, as the sword couldn't withstand his immense mana. However, both boys take note of the sword on the podium. It was a blue moon sword, a blade imbued with mysterious power that had absorbed the moonlight. But what makes the sword even more valuable is its weapon enhancement and regeneration of the blade if it is sheathed. Seon-woo motivates Seojun to pull it out as it belongs to him, because his contribution was the highest when taking down the Phantom Witch, and he probably needs a sword now anyway. Seojun, however, hesitates and asks about his share. Seon-woo says he will take everything except that sword. Bro casually passed on an S-rank weapon like someone saying, "Nah, you can keep the fries." Seojun takes hold of the moon's sword and can tell by its radiance that it is definitely S-rank. He couldn't believe that Seon-woo willingly gave up a weapon like this. It seems he really is a guy with a big heart. Soon, Seon-woo's system interface begins to pop up with a lot of notification. The main character's trust in him had increased, plus he had subjugated the hidden stage in cooperation with the main character, earning him 2,000 points as a reward. Seon-woo checks up on Seo-yoon and can tell the mana exhaustion symptoms are severe. Since she is not at the level to fight on that scale yet, it is the aftermath of forcibly squeezing out power by being controlled by the Phantom Witch. Seojun ended up gathering all the items dropped close by and gave them to Seon-woo. He then watches Seon-woo restore Seo-yoon's health by the ice spirit's heart. Soon enough, Seo-yoon manages to open her eye. As reality strikes her, she becomes astounded, wondering why they are all staring at her like that. Seon-woo and Seojun grin in relief. It seems the girl has regained her energy and has become lively once again. Seo-yoon couldn't help but turn flustered and wondered where she was. Seon-woo reveals how this is a hidden stage, and Seojun defeated the boss to save her after she was kidnapped. Seo-yoon couldn't believe that declared a hidden stage at their age, as there has never been a record like this before. To their utter relief, the exit soon opens. Sejun smiles, saying he never knew that light could look this beautiful. Seon-woo, however, tells them to stop and support him, considering he has now exhausted himself. Seon-woo knew the moment he woke Seo-yoon up, he would collapse. He had calculated the elixir's duration precisely this time. When the incident is over, the one who needs to be in the spotlight is not him, but Seojun and Seo-yoon. And with that, they made their way out of the cave. Seojun, who had cleared a hidden stage at the youngest age in history, swept the world's attention once again following the Majin subjugation incident. The sword, Blue Moon Sword, that Seojun obtained was later revealed through appraisal to possess 2 top-tier options, even among S-ranked items. In the international mage press, Oracle Seojun's genius performance was published, and the world began to pay attention to Seojun. In Hwan was able to escape the misunderstanding of being a Majin insider at the end of the interrogation. However, while being investigated for the attack on Swan Woo and Seo-yoon, his past actions of bullying other students with his gang were revealed, and so he received disciplinary action. Seon-woo was glad that from now on, that scumbag won't be getting in his way. There were twists and turns, but in the end, it followed the original plot development well. The fact that the special talent class activity was an operation by the special task force will be kept secret, and Seo-yoon will likely build a bond with Seojun through these opportunities. Calming down Hae-yoon took a bit of effort as well, but everything went well. His attention diverged as Seo-yoon appeared all of a sudden. She says she heard an interesting story from Seojun, so she wanted to thank Seon-woo. She shyly says she now knows how Seon-woo suggested going to save her first, and how fiercely he fought in the hidden stage. Seon-woo shakes his hand, saying it was all Seojun's doing. He couldn't believe Seojun couldn't take the credit. He tries his best to convince Seon-woo that Seojun was the one who defeated the Phantom Witch. Seo-yoon just smiles and leaves, saying that she will see him at the next special talent class lesson. The system interface notification soon pops up about how she has taken an interest in him. Seon-woo knew that since it had come to this, he had no choice but to do better in the next incident. The scene shifts to the school gym, where the students are prepping. Thanks to standing next to Seohyun when he came out of the hidden stage, Seon-woo earned a ton of points, so he bought a new trait this time. It is called the secret of evolution and adaptation. Basically, you can evolve and adapt by achieving specific conditions. Acquired adaptive traits can grow, but their effectiveness is reduced. For example, staying in cold places for a long time grants cold resistance, while staying in dark places for a long time increases night vision. It does not offer explosive changes, but since it raises various basic statistics, Seon-woo believes it has high utility. In the original plot development, this was a trait that the first year's second-place Min-gi would acquire, but items in the points shop are separate, so it shouldn't matter. He soon finds Seohyun. In the gym, someone asks what he is doing here. Seon-woo says he's trying to stay in shape. They get to talking, but a boy soon points out to Seohyun how some people are talking about him. They have been watching Seohyun train and taking note. As for Ara, she seemed to be going through health training. Seon-woo was happy to hear it and told him to tell Ara to keep it up. He knows she is the type to try even harder when she sees a good stimulus. Sejun then points out how he did not see teacher and Chul today. He was always in the fittest room when he did not have any class. The boy reveals that the teacher is patrolling around the school. It is a secret, but it seems a corpse drained of blood was found near the school. Seohyun becomes invested in the story and asks if it was the work of a Majin. The boy grins confidently, saying it doesn't matter because even if they invade again, our genius will protect us. Their Seon-woo, on the other hand, was deep in thought. The Majin could attack the school again at any moment because there is a mole infiltrated here. To be precise, what is inside the school is not a human mole, but a Majin itself. Third year, fourth place, Park Min-ye. She approaches Seohyun and asks if he is sweating a lot, handing him a towel. Despite the others finding her pretty and kind, Seon-woo was the one who knew her true identity. Min-ye feigns cuteness, telling Seohyun that she will always cheer for her. Imagine discovering the popular senior handing out towels is actually Satan's intern. In truth, she was the one behind the rumors of a bloodless corpse found on the ground. Her real name was Majin Jang-ye, Jang Han's only daughter. Cheon-hai approached her the night she killed a guy. He reveals that he just came to see if she was doing well. Since Jang Han died, she was left alone and has to take good care of her. Jang-ye scoffed, saying she was planning to play with the human a bit more. Serial killer vocabulary is always so unsettlingly casual. Cheon-hai warned her that they would be traced if word got out and asked about her school life these days. This seemed to frustrate the girl. She reveals that with her identity, she doesn't even have a way to approach Hyun-soo, and Lady Haryong told her not to take revenge on Jin-woo. She lives every day looking at the mugs of those young punks who reported her father. She bitterly asks Cheon-hae how he thinks she feels at school. Cheon-hae discloses that among those young punks, Seohyun is a hot topic lately. During the school attack, Seohyun was picked as a prime candidate for being the child of prophecy. Jang-ye remains astonished. Cheon-hae further reveals that during the school attack, the moment the demonic Grand Barrier vanished, he was suspicious from the moment Seohyun appeared, but the girl's report confirmed it. That overwhelming magic power is none other than the demon-slaying power, and it is certain that the child of prophecy refers to Seohyun. Jang-ye becomes energetic and wonders if she should kill Lee Seohyun with her own hands then. Cheon-hae smirks, asking if she can do it, considering she must have seen his power firsthand. Jang-ye states that one might never know. The fruit of revenge is right next to her, yet she cannot pluck it. That pain and thirst, not just for her revenge, but for the sake of her clan, she must kill Seohyun no matter what. All of a sudden, someone appears next to the bench saying this is exactly the mindset she should possess. He says she has steered her resolve well for such a young age. While Jang-ye remains taken aback, Cheon-hae instantly gets down on his knees, greeting Lord Seongjin. Seongjin says that if one is to become his subordinate, he must see their face in reality. And so he decides to accept the girl, considering her resolve is strong. He reaches out his hand, telling her to join the command of the king to attack the child of prophecy again, asserting that he will not accept a refusal. He was from the 10th Demonic Assembly, an S-class merchant, and the right arm of the king, Seongjin. Bro had the most confusing job title imaginable. Merchant by resume, apocalypse by hobby. The scene shifts to Hayoung and Seonwoo practicing in one of the dungeons. Hayoung seems to have improved a lot, and Seonwoo suggests that they focus on handling this form proficiently for the time being. Hayoung confesses how she was surprised when Seonwoo suddenly asked to go somewhere on the weekend. But to think he found a dungeon for her training is astounding. Seonwoo laughs, saying he got lucky. It was the truth. Because it was a dungeon he discovered purely by chance when he was a C-class mage before regressing. This is a place that does not appear in the original plot development and is known only to him. Since this place is swarming with demon-type monsters, he believes it is the optimal environment to grow Hayoung's willpower. Bro's idea of quality time involved attempted homicide by monsters. Seonwoo asks what she was thinking when she activated that power just now. Hayoung says she thought about wanting to save the person beside her. The most important thing when wielding the demon-slaying power is willpower, manifested through a special purpose and single-mindedness. And the focal point of Hayoung's willpower was Seonwoo. Hayoung further revealed that just now she also thought that she she wanted to work hard and get into the special talent class like him. Seon-woo didn't seem to mind much because it was more important for her to get there. He tells her that if they keep training together every weekend like this, she will be able to get into the special talent class. As for Hayoung, she seemed to think of it like a date, like a dungeon every weekend with just the two of them couldn't be something else. Seon-woo knew at this growth rate, she will join around the first semester of the third year, just like in the original plot development. All of a sudden, the system interface activates Seon-woo's evolution and adaptation skill, adapting his eyes to the darkness. He knew there was only one problem now, the issue of Jang Han's daughter, Jang Ye. In the original plot development, she approached Seojin to avenge her father and was a villain who constantly plotted conspiracy. But the ones who killed her father are Seon-woo and Hyun-soo. Therefore, she couldn't understand why she approached Seojin first. Something was definitely strange. He knows he needs to strike first before she causes harm. The scene shifts to Jang Ye approaching him in the corridors. Jang Ye had heard he was rescued by Seojin in the hidden stage a while ago. She says she heard he had something to say to her. Seon-woo affirms, knowing this is the only way to deal with her. To his shock, he takes out a notebook and reveals how he wants to stay in touch with her personally. His strategy was a confession attack. First, he needs to create a situation where it is just the two of them. Either this was a 500 IQ master plan, or the worst pickup attempt in recorded history. There was absolutely no middle ground. The system interface notification pops up, revealing how Jang Ye feels displeased by him. Plus, he has achieved the first rejection achievement. Seon-woo watches her look at him and discuss, making him realize he got dumped. She apologizes to him, stating that he is not her type, so a personal relationship is a bit much. She suggests they remain as good seniors and juniors to each other. With that, she takes her leave. She had no intention of dating a human or anything like that, even if she is just playing a human. This guy does not exactly have a face that warrants display here. Seon-woo feigns sadness. The system interface notification once again pops up, revealing how character Young-jun pities him. He was the one that Seon-woo was really aiming for. Young-jun approaches him and tells him to cheer up. He was on his way to the training grounds and did not mean to eavesdrop. He tells Seon-woo that if it is senior Minye, it is worth conveying your feelings even if you get rejected, though she hates receiving attention. Seon-woo then asks the guy if he has not done a single assignment for the classical magic theory class yet. Young-jun becomes shocked and asks, how does he know that? He reveals how he can handle anything physical, but the theory just refuses to enter his brain, no matter what. Seon-woo offers to let him use his assignment as a reference, pointing out how he is ranked first in theory. The boy instantly cheers up. However, Seon-woo says there is one condition, pointing out how he uses the school bulletin board often. The scene shifts to break time. Everyone was talking about the guy from yesterday's school board. One of the kids speaks up, saying how being last in the school rankings did not get Seon-woo enough attention, so now he is doing stuff like this. 247 people were interested in Seon-woo, now acquiring him 1,500 points as a reward. Seon-woo had expected things to turn out like this. Seon-woo had the bulletin board print his love for senior Min Ye, warning people not to touch her as she has been claimed by him. Even the teachers were amused by the comments under the bulletin. We couldn't believe kids are confessing in such ways nowadays. Ah-ra states that common sense says Seon-woo couldn't have posted it himself, so someone must be playing a malicious brand. Hayoung instantly cheers up to hear this. Young-jun was pretty uncomfortable with all the attention. He asks Seon-woo if this writing did not backfire. Seon-woo thanks him for helping him to convey his feelings properly, though it was not the result he hoped for. He had known that if he dragged Young-jun, who is oddly interested in gossip, it would spread across the whole school in an instant. Seon-woo then takes a look at Jang Ye. Jang Ye was beyond furious, wondering who in their right mind would confess like that. Seon-woo escaped being last in the school rankings, but just like Sejun, people now know him as an attention seeker. As long as she is entangled with him like this, she won't be able to recklessly hunt people or harm Seo-jun. That was Seon-woo's plan. He has no image left to ruin, so he takes no damage. To ensure his plan is going smoothly, he even winks at Jang Ye. Jang Ye's friends assured her that she should not be so nice to such weirdos who then cling to her and suggested not dealing with him at all. Jang Ye was truly infuriated. She needed to kill Seojin, but because of this scumbag Seon-woo, all the attention is focused on her now. She would love to secretly ambush and dispose of him, but for now, she has no choice but to leave it patched up like this. As for Seojin, Seon-woo is aware that a much more important incident awaits him. The scene shifts to the US Relic Museum. It was closing time, and the staff members were urging the visitors to exit the premises. The usual night patrol then begins to check for any anomalies. One of the members began to check on the Soul Vessel, a holy relic possessing the power to seal soul. 13 years ago, the world was suffering from the threat of the worst multinational terrorist group in history, John. However, the Mage Association chairman Jin Cheol fought a fierce battle and repelled them, succeeding in killing their leader, Cheon-woo. And among the spoils of the war from that time, the Soul Vessel was gifted to the US Relic Museum. The staff member checks the Soul Vessel as secure. Little did he know what would happen next. A mysterious woman makes her way towards the most important exhibit in the US Relic Museum, the Soul Vessel. She touches the glass and says that this holy relic is imbued with such a level of mystery and is too beautiful to be locked up in a place like this. The staff member was so busy with his work that he did not pay her much attention and just told her the exit way. He says the artifact is a power, as dangerous as it is beautiful, which is why it must be kept by those who are qualified. The woman says that the person from 13 years ago possessed the qualification to hold all mysteries in his hands until he fell to Jin Cheol. The staff member argues that the association stepped in to prevent it from being used up by those washed-up terrorists. The power of mystery must be used for the public good, after all. The girl's demeanor darkens as she calls him wrong. She asserts that great power must be used for a greater purpose, and the major association is merely desperate to monopolize it. The staff member realizes she's dangerous and yells for security to kick the potential criminal out immediately. However, turns out the woman had backup and had eliminated all of the security members. The man couldn't believe it, as all of the security members were A-class mages. Plus, the security system did not even trigger after things got this bad. He watches in shock as this mysterious group snatches the holy relic underneath his eyes. It trembles in fear, and his legs give way as he wonders what the hell is there. The group towers above him, asserting that even if he steals the god from them, he cannot break their will. The woman activates her powers, telling him to pay the price for insulting their god. And with that, the museum went through utter destruction. The news was soon broadcast around, and the students of the academy heard about the terror attack at the U.S. Relic Museum. It has been revealed to be the work of the cult group John, which had disappeared in the past. Ah-Ra flinches in astonishment as she looks at the face of the suspected woman. Hyung takes note and becomes worried, asking if she's alright. Ah-Ra dismisses it as nothing and excuses herself, saying she just does not feel well. Seon-woo wasn't surprised in the least because he knew it would begin soon. The first battle with John. The tutorial was officially over. The story had just replaced the training wheels with landmine. The villain in question, John Colt, casually scrolls through the news. They all reveal the same thing. John has resumed activity and returned after 13 years. Jin was just glad he managed to cover his face in the nick of time. Natasha, on the other hand, mentions that the tactless curator insulted him and made him pay with his life. Scar, on the other hand, was furious, saying that they should have ended it too quietly back in the day. They could have ground the whole nearby block to dust before leaving. Jin, being the mature one, told Scar that this action was too hasty and that times have changed. Natasha agrees, reminding Scar that the Special Task Force and Don's blade are still chasing them. Scar, however, was still overconfident, saying that he can fight them if he wants to. Another girl from the cult suggests they go to Korea and take a break because they've been too hasty this time. Natasha and Scar mutually agreed, obviously for different reasons. Natasha just wanted to wake up in Seoul Magic Arena, and Scar was happy because Korea was a place full of strong people worth fighting. Jin says that is only good, but he wants to avoid running into Kim Jin Cheol at all costs. The woman Bert agrees, saying it is darkest under the lamp and no one will expect them to go to them first. Plus, there is something she needs to check. After all, that child means a lot to them. Natasha comments on how he has been swept up in all sorts of incidents. Scar exclaims that crises make a man grow, and so it was decided. Jin will prepare fake identities and passports for them and contact Yoon Sung. They will land in Korea soon. The scene shifts to a restaurant. It has been a while since Seon-woo came out as Kim Jin-woo. He decides it's time to be active now, since he has been laid low this long. Haryong had developed an interest in him, but now he's certain it must have dropped. Above the wall, before he runs into the cult, he needs to raise his specs first. He collects the divine, her potion, and high-durability combat boots he had ordered. He was meeting the woman in the Kan Tia restaurant, where Seojin took one bite in the original story and almost fainted. He heard it takes months for normal people just to get a reservation. He decided to check if the taste really lived up to it. As soon as the golden pastry covering the outside broke, the subtle mushroom scent of the sauce rolled out with the juices in his mouth. The flavors were practically exploding in his mouth, and it was basically delicious. The woman felt glad that she was treating him to this because his reaction was very satisfied. Seon-woo, as Jin-woo, comments that he cannot just sit here shamelessly since he received such great hospitality. The girl shows her that if it is about money, it's fine, and it's not like they have a relationship where they dwell on things like that. However, he suggests something better than money. To her shock, he seemed to know about the terror threat. She questions, how does he know when this top secret information has not been leaked to the press? Eventually, she agrees, admitting that after the John news broke, copycat crimes increased worldwide. Fortunately, the person threatening Seon has no connection to John. The real culprit is not the cult, but an alchemist active in the underworld named Seong-hun. He is a petty criminal who got caught trying to threaten the recently rising pharmaceutical company. Seon-woo tells her to check the financial situations of her security staff, and there will be someone connected to a seedy alchemist. Basically, in the original story, he was just a character briefly inserted to create an incident, so this level of intervention should be permissible. Seon-woo knows so much high-level information that even he shouldn't know, but the source is strictly a secret. Seyeon says she does not know who he is working under, but has he ever considered working under her? She says she won't lose in the competition against her brother if she had someone like him. She says the minimum salary is in the hundreds of millions. She will offer him treatment beyond what he expects. Seon-woo politely says says his desire is to help her, but he doesn't do this work, looking for special treatment. She then suggests they have a meal again later, and she will propose again with better conditions. It is true that her offer was attractive, but if he accepted, he would end up drifting away from Seojin. As soon as he was alone, he began to activate his combat boot. He was glad there was something usable among the hidden stage drop items. He quickly began to test his combat boots, flying across buildings. The scene shifts to a magic jurisprudence class. The instructor was assigning a two-person group theory research assignment. The assignment makes the whole class groan in disappointment. One shouldn't even complain about extending the deadline, but the instructor refuses to do so. Seon-woo decides to finish it in one day and rest since he has the outsider perk. He decides to find a suitable kid to prove his point. But to his surprise, Ah-ra approaches him first, saying he's in a group with her. The other students began to complain, questioning if the top rankers are going to hog everything among themselves. Ah-ra grows furious and coldly glares at them, asking what they're going to do about it. This eventually makes them composed, and they all begin to scurry away. Seon-woo agrees to be her partner, but he has no idea why she was talking to him all of a sudden. She then leaves, telling him to find her after school as she will be at the training ground. Seon-woo believes this is a good opportunity, as he needed to check on her at some point, or so he thought. Ah-ra later corners him, telling him that playing dumb is useless. She asserts that she knows his true identity. The truth is, at this point, even Seon-woo was confused about his true identity. Who wonders which one she is talking about? Ah-ra says she thought it was strange when he spoke about his private affairs and things he couldn't have known without investigating on the first day of the semester, as if they were common knowledge. She states that he was also a victim caught up in John's terror attacks, just like her. 13 years ago, John hunted down prestigious mage families and minority clans, aiming for the power of the mystery. The family of Ah-ra, one of the 5 great mage families, also fell at the hands of this cult, and their family treasures were plundered. Ah-ra decided to become strong to take direct revenge on John. For 13 years, she has pushed herself ruthlessly to become strong enough to kill them. However, he did not expect her to think of him as a victim of John. He questions what made her think that. Ah-ra responds, she had a vague idea during the midterms, and yesterday's incident confirmed it. When everyone else was shocked by the news, he was the only one who remained calm, as if he had been waiting for them to return. She reveals how she knows that feeling. At first, you're shocked, but on the other hand, you feel relieved. It is because, finally, the chance to take direct revenge on those scumbags has arrived. Seon-woo warns her not to do anything rash, because John is a terrorist group made up entirely of S-rank mages. He begins to mention how, with their current level, facing them is dangerous, but Ah-ra ruthlessly interjected, telling him not to say there are tens of thousands of victims of the cult across the world, and he is sure he lost something precious to them. But no one can understand the pain she has endured for the past 13 years. However, she stopped speaking as she noticed the wound on his wrist. Seon-woo tries to cover it up. However, his system interface reveals that she feels pity for him. She reveals that she can at least distinguish a wound made directly by a blade, and she apologizes for bringing up painful memories for him. To his shock, she even offers to do his assignment for him, and with that, she turns to leave. Seon-woo calls out to her, saying that she should forget the assignment. Instead, she should let him help with his revenge. He reminds her of the first day of the semester, when he had told her that she was better than the others to go over there. He says they were not empty words, and if it is him, he can definitely help her become stronger than she is now. He reminds her of Hayeon. Ah-ra quietly hands him an ointment for his scar. She says this won't have any meaning unless she finishes it with her own hands. She internally tells the boy that emotional wounds often remain as physical traces under the body. The reason he acted like that on the first day despite having such skill is probably not unrelated to the trauma he carried, because he's that kind of person. She decides not to drag him into her revenge. She remembers telling her sister how she wanted to hunt down the cult after graduation as well, like the Special Task Force or her Blade of Dawn. However, her sister had told her that she wanted her only remaining family to live happily. But Ah-ra personally wanted to put an end to the cult so that there are no more victims like that. Seon-woo later pondered deeply. The fact that Ah-ra, who avoids communicating with others, opened up about her personal story is definitely a good achievement. She seemed to have felt a sense of kinship, according to the system interface. But now he wonders what he should do about this misunderstanding. He was just trying to gain an adaptive trait with the dagger he got from the hidden stage. How is he supposed to explain in this situation that he stabbed himself? He ended up getting the adaptive trait of paralytic poison resistance. Seon-woo knew by now that at times like this, training is the only answer. Every night, he refines his mana while contemplating how to assist with the upcoming plot development. John is an enemy that must be fought eventually, and he is aware that helping Ah-ra's revenge is in turn helping Seojin. And to lay the groundwork for that, he will definitely have to show something during this incident. The scene shifts to Gangwon-do, with the academy students experiencing one of the elective activities for all students called the Mercenary Experience Activity. They form teams to receive missions from mercenary groups across the country, assisting them for 3 days. Following the original plot development, their team was assigned to assist the escort mission of the large-scale mercenary group Black Flame in the area. They came all the way here because there was a VIP who specifically requested Sejun. Though Jang Ye is included in their group, Seon-woo believes she probably won't attack Seojin Seojun while surrounded by veteran mercenaries. She did not cause an incident at this point in the original work either. Just in case, Seonwoo lands to keep a close watch to make sure she does not go near the main character until they arrive. And so much to Jang Ye's annoyance, he kept following her and asking her annoying questions. Soon, the Black Flame mercenary group leader, a rank mage, Ha Jun, announced that they had arrived at the mission location. Seojun was surprised to see a mansion like this in the mountains. Ha Jun revealed that this is their mission site, and even a famous genius has not seen a place like this before. He revealed that the difficulty is D rank and the client is a famous artist. But recently, several items from their collection have been stolen from the mansion. So, starting today and for the next 3 days, they will assist their Black Flame mercenary group and guard the mansion against petty thieves. Seonwoo looks around, commenting that while using intense colors, they harmonize so that the background does not overshadow the object, a result of the artist's unique perspective being reflected. He seemed to have impressed his buddy. The artist soon arrives, saying that she is simply grateful he views them so favorably. She introduces herself as Charlotte, but only Seonwoo knew that this client, who specifically designated Seojun, was none other than the villain of this very incident. Charlotte John Burt, the famous artist who designated them to request protection. The scene shifts to Yoon Sung revealing a sob story to the John cult. He reveals he has a monitor. He never took his eyes off Seojun. He investigated the boy's grades, friendships, and health status too, and made regular reports without missing anything. Natasha questioned, then why did the boy get swept up in so many incidents? Yoon Sung clarifies that he would have stepped in if the boy was in a truly dangerous situation. Well, Natasha and Scar continued bickering, and Jin addressed the other one, saying he isn't that clueless a guy. Jin eventually loses his composure and tells the two idiots to shut up and eat. Scar wonders if they really have to go this far just to see the boy. He suggests they just go and clash with him if they're curious about his skill. You don't have to look uncool and disguise yourself as petty thief. Natasha reveals how Bert told them to. Yoon Sung smiled, saying it would be fun. Jin tells Scar that if they do not want to attract Jin Cheol's attention, they need to hide their identities first. Plus, it's Bert's order to go easy on them and not to kill anyone else. And so the four got ready, disguised as petty thieves. Meanwhile, in the mansion, Charlotte had a whole feast laid out on the table. Students thanked her for the food. Seonwoo also calmly aids, knowing this is enemy territory, but it is safe. John's goal, who will invade the mansion disguised as thieves in a few hours, is not terror, but to test the special existence Seojun. If trash like Jang Ye reveals their true colors, they would be executed immediately. Then he can't be worry-free. However, he becomes cautious as Charlotte addresses Seojun, saying that she has heard about him in the news and how he saved the diligently looking person sitting over there. She is talking about Seonwoo, by the way. Seonwoo tries his best not to give a reaction. Charlotte then asks Seojun if the female student who was active with him did not come along. Seojun reveals that Seowoon had family matters to attend to. Charlotte praises the boy, saying his family must be very happy with his talent. Seojun smiles bitterly, saying he does not have a family. He says it is not like he lost him to someone, he just does not know what kind of people they are. But if his family is outraged somewhere, he hopes they are proud of him. Charlotte apologizes for such a rude question, but says she understands the feeling. Jang Ye, on the other hand, was trembling all over. Charlotte reveals how she grew up as an orphan too, and it is a bitter and lonely feeling. She looks at Seojun affectionately, suggesting they do their best together. Because family is not something you were born with, it is something you make. After the meal, the 5 students made their way to the main area. As per the mercenary activity briefing they received during the day, they decided to patrol the interior according to the schedule. Jang Ye tries to approach Seojun, but Seonwoo instantly intervenes. He tells Seojun that he came up with a reinforcement plan for the patrol route. One of the students takes note of the senior's expressions turning vicious and wonders if this must be a love rhyme. He turns to Ah-ra for gossip, but she was lost in her own thoughts, and so she leaves. Seonwoo and Seojun made their way out. Seonwoo was guiding his friend in a direction where people won't get swept up even if an incident occurred. He asked Seojun if he had any questions after the briefing. Seojun stares at him with a serious expression on his face and says he has one question. For someone who says they lack mana in the hidden stage, he fired off magic like his mana was infinite. Style of aiming for the opponent's vitals while blasting magic from the front. He knows exactly one person who fights like that. From appearance to combat style, he is way too similar to Mage Kim Jinwoo. Sunwoo's face turns pale. Why was everyone suspecting him all of a sudden? Seojun says he is not confusing him for Jinwoo because he is the hero who cleared the tower's hidden floor and caught a Majin all by himself. Seojun says what he is curious about is who he learned that style from and the reason why he is hiding his power when he told him not to hide his. Sanwoo becomes speechless, wondering what excuse he should give. Out of the blue, Ah-ra approaches them. She adds that it's not like he's hiding his power, but it's because he has no choice. There are cases where magic emission becomes unstable due to psychological factor. The deviation between mana capacity and output becomes large. She claims that, in other words, the current Seonwoo is not building up his skills. He is in rehabilitation for his original skills. Seonwoo. It's probably the most shocking thing to hear this. Seojun seems to have admired him for this. He then begins to wonder about the medicine his friend took took in the hidden stage. Seonwoo sighs, deciding to play along with this. He reveals how he kept it a secret from everyone because he did not want to be pitied. Seo-jun becomes surprised, promising to keep it a secret from other people. But Seonwoo continues with his Oscar-winning acting, sheds a few tears, and leaves. He tells Seo-jun to start patrolling from the corner of the mansion, like the route he planned. Seonwoo was glad to have survived thanks to Ah-ra's misunderstanding. As he began to patrol the area, he noticed how Charlotte managed to scrape together quite the collection of precious items. This mansion is one of the hideouts of the villain cult located around the world. Although there are things Bert painted herself under the disguise of Charlotte, the majority were looted to fund the cult's activity. However, the real treasure of this mansion is not art or anything like that. It is the items John kept separately in the secret vault. They were, however, sealed with a lot of magical spells and concealment potions. Since everyone is focused on their own tasks, no one knows a thief has actually entered the mansion. Seonwoo just needs to work before the third party barges in a while later. He drinks the low-grade magic concealment potion, earning him concealment for 10 minutes, and so he activates his unique characteristic, Outsider's Benefit. He is planning to rob these cult villains blind, obviously, as they'll be diligently looking for a guy. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ah-ra questions Seo-jun about what he thinks Seonwoo's rank would be if he showed his true skills. Seo-jun guesses it might be 15. Ah-ra seems to be disappointed by his answers, saying she thought he, of all people, would recognize his true worth. She then leaves, saying she will swap with him when it is time, so he should not come waking her up. Sejun waves goodbye, reminding her to check the student handbook where he shared the patrol route. Sejun is aware that just because you increase your total mana does not make you an excellent mage. It all depends on how meticulously you can manifest your magic. In that sense, the 15th rank he estimated is not Seonwoo's maximum, but his minimum. If that really is his true skill, then it seems he is really talented. He soon becomes alert as he senses a presence nearby. It was senior Jang Ye. Seonwoo, on the other hand, was busy finishing his work before the third party barged in and started making a mess. He analyzes the magic formula. Basically, his trait, Outsider's Privilege, can analyze any magic formula. But the opponent is John. An expert on Bert's level would be able to detect the mana emitted right now. That's why he is using a method only he can pull off to bypass it. He takes note of how the magical concealment potion is structured to trigger an alarm if fully disabled. Jin from John must have set this up. Seonwoo believes that if he just modifies the formula enough for one person to slip in, it might work, and it eventually does, and he makes his way to the secret room. The display cases also had the same type of security magic on them, and he decides to clear them out as well. As for the Black Flame mercenary leader, he, along with his subordinates, stood at the front gates. The subordinate confesses that something feels off because they have been told that this mansion gets robbed regularly, but it is pretty quiet. He also mentions how this area is a monster field where high-level monsters run wild if you just step a little off the path. Even if they covet the artwork, would any thief really target a place like this? The team leaders seem to be annoyed and ask, why does he care? They just take the money and stand guard. That is it. He says it is probably just a staged robbery for the insurance money at best. Instead of trying to figure out the client's intentions, they should use this time to think about how to recruit Seo-jun. As both of them were distracted, they failed to sense an eerie presence. The man mercilessly ends up killing them and hurries his way forth. Jang Ye had helped him come in. She asks him to give her the chance to end Seo-jun's life. Seong-jin, however, denies, saying that they should confirm whether he is the child of prophecy first. Seo-jun suddenly approaches. He misunderstands the situation and thinks that the senior is in danger. He has her dodge and attacks the mysterious man. He instantly grabs the senior's vest and tells her to run inside. He had followed the senior outside, wondering where she was going, but he had never expected an outside intruder killing the Black Flame mercenaries and breaking in. On top of that, the thief was imagined. His breath hitched, and his bones ached even without fighting due to the gap in power felt throughout his entire body. Seong-jin was certain. This man was an S-rank Majin, and he will surely die if he fights him. Seong-jin praised the boy's judgment, but said that should not be the power of destruction. He soon brings out more of his men. Apparently, they had wiped out all the mercenaries standing guard near the mansion without a single one left. The man then, without hesitation, orders them to kill all the remaining students, excluding Seo-jun. They must not allow any variables after all. Se-yoon and Jang Ye had now made their way inside and revealed the whole lore to the others. Jang Ye played along with him, saying she would have been in trouble if he had not come on time. Seo-jun says they must call for outside help and asks where Charlotte is. Ah-ra reveals she left a few hours ago to buy art supplies. Jang Ye, on the other hand, wanted to kill Seo-jun right this second, but fighting these guys head-on would be a suicide mission. She cannot disobey the Lord's orders either. The students were in a pickle. They were in the mountains, which did not have self-service either. Sejun asks for Seonwoo's opinion, but becomes shocked to see that he was not there. They all decide to go look for him. Little did they know that the boy was having the time of his life stealing precious items. By the time he was done, his interdimensional pocket capacity was almost full. Although he couldn't find anything as valuable as a holy relic, he decided to get back on time. This incident is not resolved by Seo-jun or John, but concludes with the intervention of a third party. In all that chaos, the cult won't have the luxury of worrying about these items. However, as soon as he made his way out of the secret secret vault, he was shocked to bump into Imagine.